Welcome, traveler of the inner path, to Lotus Whisper. Find a place of stillness where the world cannot reach you. Tonight we sit together by the edge of a great and mist-covered river. Often we try to map the currents and predict the tides, yet life remains a mystery that refuses to be solved. You may feel lost in the fog of the unknown, but remember that the river knows its way to the sea without a compass. In this space, we let go of the need to understand. We learn to float upon the uncertainty, trusting the water to hold us. If you seek peace within the silence, I invite you to subscribe and journey with us through the night. Let the breath become your anchor as we begin our passage into deep and restorative rest. Welcome, weary traveler. You have found your way to a place where the clocks have no hands and the wind speaks in whispers. Sit down beside me. Let the weight of the day fall from your shoulders like an old, heavy cloak that you no longer need to wear. We are here at the edge of a great, silent forest, and the moon is beginning to rise, casting a soft, silver glow over the path we are about to walk. Tonight, we do not seek answers. We do not look for maps or directions. We are here to learn the sacred art of being still in the middle of the mist. Take a deep, slow breath. Feel the air enter your body, cool and fresh, and feel it leave you, carrying away the tension of the hours behind you. You are safe. You are held. You are exactly where you need to be. The sky above the ancient mountains is no longer the clear, bright blue of the morning. It has become a vast sea of churning grey, filled with the heavy and restless clouds of a storm that has not yet decided to break. You stand at the beginning of a narrow trail, looking upward, but the peak of the mountain is gone. It has been swallowed by the fog, hidden away as if it never existed. This is the landscape of the anxious mind. It is a place where the horizon has vanished and the familiar landmarks of your life are obscured by a thick, damp veil. You feel a tightness in your chest, a small bird trapped in a cage of bone, fluttering its wings against your ribs with a frantic, uneven rhythm. Your thoughts are like dry leaves caught in a whirlwind, spinning in circles, rising and falling, but never finding a place to rest. You want to see the path ahead. You want to know if the bridge is still standing and if the ground is firm. But the mist does not answer. It only grows thicker, wrapping itself around you like a cold embrace. In our world, we are taught that clarity is a virtue and that to be lost is a failure. We are told that we must always have a plan, a destination, and a clear view of the road. But the Zen masters tell us a different story. They speak of the great cloud of unknowing. They remind us that the mountain does not fear the mist. The ancient cedar trees, with their roots deep in the dark earth, do not tremble when the fog hides the sun. They do not reach out to grab the clouds and pull them apart. They simply stand. They wait. They breathe. They know that the sun is still there, even when its face is hidden. They know that the light has not abandoned them, but is merely resting behind the curtain of the grey sky. Our anxiety is often nothing more than the desire to control the weather of our lives. We think that if we worry enough, if we analyze every shape in the fog, we can force the sky to clear. But the mind cannot think its way into peace. The more you stir the muddy water of a pond, the more clouded it becomes. It is only when you stop stirring, when you let the sediment settle of its own accord, that the water becomes clear enough to reflect the stars. Listen to the sound of the wind moving through the valley. It carries no explanations, only the present moment. It does not tell you where it has been or where it is going. It simply is. Can you allow yourself to be like the wind? Can you allow your thoughts to drift past you without trying to catch them? Imagine your worries are like heavy stones you have been carrying in a backpack for miles. Your back is sore, your legs are tired, and your breath is shallow. You believe that these stones are necessary, that they are the pieces of your life you must solve before you can rest. But what if you were to set the bag down, just for this moment? What if you were to look at the stones and realize they are just rocks, and the earth is perfectly capable of holding them without your help? The heaviness you feel is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are trying to carry the weight of the entire universe with two small hands. The restlessness of the mind is like a monkey jumping from branch to branch, seeking a fruit that is never quite ripe. It leaps into the future, imagining storms that may never arrive. It swings back into the past, picking at old wounds that have already begun to heal. It is afraid of the stillness, because in the stillness there is no one to fight and nothing to solve. But here, under the shadow of the heavy clouds, there is a profound medicine in the uncertainty. There is a secret rhythm in the dark that we often miss because we are too busy reaching for the light. Think of the seed buried deep in the soil during the long, cold winter. The seed does not know what a flower is. It does not have a map of the garden. It is surrounded by darkness and dampness, pressed on all sides by the weight of the earth. If the seed were like us, it would be filled with anxiety. It would wonder why the sun has gone and why it is trapped in the cold. But the seed does not struggle. It trusts the darkness. It waits in the silence, and in that waiting, something miraculous begins to happen. The shell breaks, not by force, but by the quiet power of life itself. You are in your own winter of the soul right now. The clouds are heavy, and the way forward is not clear. But you do not need to see the end of the road to take the next step. You only need to trust the ground that meets your feet in this very moment. Feel the weight of your body against the earth. The earth is not anxious. It does not ask for your destination or your credentials. It supports you with a quiet, unwavering strength. It has held the weight of oceans and the roots of mountains for millions of years. It can certainly hold you. When the heart is restless, we often try to run away from the feeling. We seek distractions, we seek noise, we seek the reassurance of others. But the mist is a gift that calls us back to ourselves. It forces us to slow down. It forces us to look not at the distant peak, but at the single step we are taking right now. Look at the way the moisture clings to the moss on the rocks. See how the grey light softens the edges of the world, making everything appear as if it were part of a dream. There is a beauty in this blurred reality. There is a grace in not knowing. When we stop demanding that life be clear, we begin to find a peace that does not depend on clarity. We find a tranquility that exists right in the middle of the storm. Let the restlessness be a guest in your house. Do not bar the door. Do not try to push it back into the night. If you allow the anxiety to sit with you, without judging it or trying to fix it, you will notice something strange. You will notice that it begins to lose its power. It is like a shadow that grows long in the evening, but disappears when you bring a light into the room. The light you bring is the light of your own awareness. It is the gentle, non-judgmental observation of your own breath. In and out, rising and falling. The clouds are moving, even if they seem still. The world is turning, even if you feel stuck. You are a part of this great, unfolding mystery, and the mystery knows exactly what it is doing with you. You are safe in the greyness. You are held by the silence. Trust the mist, for it is the breath of the mountain, and it knows the way home even when you do not. As you stand within this silver embrace, realize that the mist does not hide the path, it becomes the path. In the world of the mind, we are often taught to fear the unknown, to demand absolute clarity, and to seek the sharp, cold edges of certainty. But here, on the mountain of the soul, we learn the wisdom of the blurred edge and the beauty of the soft focus. Think of a simple cup of tea. When the steam rises from the surface, it dances and disappears into the air. It does not ask where it is going or what will become of it once it vanishes. It simply flows, because that is its nature. You are that steam. You are that gentle, rising movement. Let the tension in your shoulders dissolve into the damp, cool air. Let the tightness in your chest soften like a dry leaf placed in a pool of still water. There is nowhere you need to be, there is nothing you need to fix. The mountain does not ask the mist to leave so that it can see the valley. The mountain holds the mist. It breathes the mist. It is the mist. Consider the ancient story of the man crossing a wide river in the thick fog of early morning. He sits in his small wooden boat, rowing slowly through the grey silence. Suddenly, he sees the dark shape of another boat coming toward him, drifting aimlessly with the current. He begins to shout, fearing a collision that will sink them both. He grows angry, his heart racing, his voice becoming harsh and jagged as he yells for the other person to steer away. He feels a surge of resentment toward the person who is so careless as to let their boat drift into his path. But as the other boat emerges from the grey veil and strikes his own with a soft thud, he sees that it is empty. There is no one at the oars. There is no one to blame. His anger vanishes in an instant, replaced by a profound and quiet realization. There was no one to be angry at. There was only a boat, drifting with the natural rhythm of the water. Your thoughts and your anxieties are like that empty boat. They drift into your awareness, fueled by the winds of habit and the hidden currents of old fears. When you realize the boat is empty, when you realize there is no solid, unchanging self behind the anxiety, your anger and your fear have nowhere to land. They simply pass by. You are the river, vast and deep, and the empty boats of thought cannot harm the water. They are merely guests passing through the house of your mind. Listen now to the silence that lives beneath the sound of my voice. It is a wide silence, a fertile silence. In the Zen tradition, we often speak of the sound of one hand clapping. It is not a riddle to be solved with the cleverness of the intellect. It is a doorway. It asks you to look for the source of your own being. Where does a thought go when it is finished? Where does a breath go when it leaves your lips? It returns to the great emptiness, and this emptiness is not a void of nothingness or a lonely vacuum. It is a fullness of potential. It is the womb of all things. As you lie here, feel your body becoming heavy, yet strangely light. You are sinking into the earth, yet you are floating in the endless sky. The boundaries of your skin are beginning to fade and soften. You are not a separate island in a hostile sea. You are the ocean itself, expressing itself as a wave for a brief, beautiful moment. The wave does not need to fear the shore, for it is only returning to the depths from which it came. Look down at your feet in the mind's eye. You see the ancient emerald moss growing upon the weathered stones of the mountain path. The moss does not hurry. It does not struggle to grow faster than the stone. It simply accepts the moisture and the shade. It finds a rich and vibrant life in the places where others see only cold, hard rock. Be like the moss. Find your peace in the stillness of this moment, even if the world around you feels like stone. The world outside may be loud and demanding, but here, in the sanctuary of your own breath, there is only the soft, green quiet. Every cell in your body is beginning to listen to this quiet. Your heart beats with the ancient rhythm of the universe, a steady, calm pulse that knows no fear and no hurry. You are being breathed by life itself. You are not doing the breathing. Life is breathing you. The mist is growing thicker now, but it is a warm and comforting mist, like a soft, heavy blanket being pulled over your spirit by a kind hand. You can smell the faint, clean scent of cedar and wet earth. It is the smell of home. It is the smell of the beginning and the end. You are returning to the state of the uncarved block, the state of pure potential, before the world tried to shape you into something else. Before you had a name, before you had worries, before you had a story to tell, you were this peace. You are returning to that original face, the one you had before you were born. The mountain is tall and ancient, and you are resting securely on its slope. The wind in the pines is a lullaby, singing a song without words. The stars, though hidden for now by the clouds and the mist, are still there in the velvet darkness, shining with a light that took 1,000 years to reach you. Trust the darkness, trust the rest. You are a child of the cosmos, and the cosmos is inviting you to lay down your burdens. The path is gone, the boat is empty, and the mountain is asleep. Let yourself drift into that same sleep, where there is no self, no other, and only the infinite, healing silence of the night. The breath becomes a gentle tide, rising and falling without effort. You are no longer the one who breathes, but the breath itself, a soft wind moving through the reeds of an ancient pond. Every muscle in your body is now like a petal that has finished its dance and settled upon the cool, dark earth. There is no more need to hold on, for the earth holds you with a love that asks for nothing in return. Imagine your thoughts as tiny lanterns floating down a slow river. One by one, they drift around the bend, their light fading into the mist until only the dark, quiet water remains. You are that water, deep, still, and untroubled by the ripples of the day. The world of form is receding, replaced by a soft glow of inner peace that radiates from the center of your being. This peace is your true nature. It is the silence between two heartbeats. It is the space between two thoughts. In this space, there is no time. There is no yesterday to regret, and no tomorrow to fear. There is only this perfect, golden moment of surrender. Let the weight of your limbs sink deeper into the softness beneath you. Feel the cool air against your skin like a silk veil, reminding you that you are safe and protected in the arms of the universe. The great mystery of life does not require your understanding tonight. It only requires your presence. As you close your eyes to the physical world, the eye of the spirit opens to a landscape of infinite rest. The stars are whispering your name in a language of light. The moon is a silver bowl overflowing with stillness. Drink from it. Let the quiet wash over you like a mountain stream. You are home. You are whole. You are at peace. Sleep now, and let the great silence carry you into the heart of the eternal and most sacred dream. Welcome, weary traveler, to this quiet corner of existence where the noise of the world fades into a soft and distant hum. You have come here carrying a heavy burden, a collection of worries that have nested in your heart like restless birds. The world outside moves with a frantic and unforgiving energy, demanding that you know the way, that you solve the puzzle, and that you master the future before it even arrives. This constant pressure creates a storm within you, a whirlwind of thoughts that clouds your vision and steals your peace. But in this space, we do not seek answers. We seek the stillness that exists beneath the questions. I invite you to let your breath become a gentle anchor, grounding you in the soft reality of the present. You do not need to understand the grand design of your life to exist within it. You only need to be here, now, in the safety of this moment. Let the weight of your expectations fall away like autumn leaves. Together, we will walk through the mist of your uncertainty and find the quiet strength that lies in simply trusting the flow of the river. The sky above the valley is heavy with the color of bruised plums, and the air carries the scent of approaching rain. You stand at the edge of a vast forest where the trees are tall and their branches are tangled like the many thoughts that race through your mind. This forest represents the unknown, the parts of your life that feel dark, confusing, and beyond your control. In the modern world, you are taught that to be safe is to be certain. You are told that you must map out every step of your journey, that you must anticipate every obstacle, and that any moment of confusion is a failure of your will. This is the root of the tension that tightens your chest and makes your pulse quicken like a drum in the night. You feel as though you are standing in a storm of your own making, trying to hold back the wind with your bare hands. You reach out into the darkness, searching for a solid branch to hold onto, but the more you reach, the more the shadows seem to shift and dance. Consider for a moment the nature of a mountain stream after a heavy downpour. The water is brown and turbulent, filled with silt and debris torn from the banks. If you were to jump into that water and try to scrub it clean with your hands, you would only stir up more mud. You would exhaust yourself, and the water would remain opaque. The only way to see the pebbles at the bottom is to sit quietly on the bank and wait. You must allow the water to be as it is, in all its chaotic and muddy glory. Eventually, the heavy particles will settle of their own accord. The silt will sink to the bottom, and the water will become as clear as a mirror, reflecting the sky and the overhanging trees. Your mind is much like this stream. When anxiety takes hold, your thoughts become the mud that obscures the truth. You try to think your way out of the confusion, but thinking is often just another way of stirring the water. You ask yourself why things are happening this way, what you did wrong, and what will become of you if the clouds do not part. These questions are like stones thrown into the pool, creating ripples that distort the reflection of the moon. The stress of your daily life is a subtle thief. It steals the softness from your gaze and the ease from your stride. You walk through the streets of your city with your jaw clenched, your mind already 3 hours ahead of your body. You are living in a future that has not happened yet, reacting to ghosts and shadows that may never take form. This inner tension is a physical manifestation of your resistance to the mystery of life. You want to understand why the path has taken this particular turn. You want to know why the storm has chosen this moment to break over your head. But life, in its infinite wisdom, does not always speak the language of logic. It speaks the language of seasons, of cycles, and of the quiet growth that happens in the dark. A seed buried in the earth does not understand why it is covered in cold, heavy soil. It does not understand why it must break its own shell to reach for a light it cannot yet see. If the seed spent its time worrying about the weight of the dirt, it would never have the strength to push through. It simply trusts the impulse of life within it. It accepts the darkness as a necessary part of its becoming. You are currently in your own season of darkness, your own period of being buried. The anxiety you feel is the pressure of the earth against your shell. It is uncomfortable, yes, and it is frightening because you cannot see the surface. You feel trapped by the demands of your job, the complexities of your relationships, and the silent expectations you have placed upon yourself. You feel as though you are failing because you do not have a clear vision of the horizon. But I tell you now, with the voice of the wind and the ancient stones, that you are exactly where you need to be. The confusion you feel is not a sign of lostness, but a sign of transition. The storm is not there to destroy you, but to wash away the dust of old habits and the illusions of control. When you stop fighting the storm and start listening to its rhythm, you begin to realize that you are not separate from the weather of your life. You are the sky, and the clouds are merely passing through. Take a deep breath and feel the air move into the tight spaces of your body. Imagine that with every exhale, you are loosening one thread of the knot that has formed in your belly. The modern world tells you that you must be the master of your fate. But the Zen master knows that true mastery lies in surrender. This is not the surrender of the defeated, but the surrender of the leaf to the wind. The leaf does not know where the wind will take it, yet it does not struggle. It trusts that the wind knows the way. When you stop demanding that life explain itself to you, a profound shift begins to occur. The tension in your shoulders begins to melt like ice under a spring sun. You realize that you have been holding your breath for a very long time, waiting for a permission that only you can give. You give yourself permission to not know. You give yourself permission to be uncertain. You give yourself permission to trust the unseen forces that have guided you this far. Think of the ancient mariners who sailed by the stars. They could not see the land beneath the horizon, and they could not control the currents of the ocean. They had only the flickering lights in the heavens and the steady pull of the tides. They did not understand the physics of the stars or the biology of the deep, yet they trusted their instruments and the wisdom of the sea. You are a mariner on the ocean of existence. The stars of your inner guidance are often obscured by the clouds of your anxiety, but they are still there, shining with a steady and silent light. The stress you feel is the result of trying to row against the tide. You are exhausted because you are trying to force the boat in a direction that the sea is not yet ready to go. What would happen if you laid down your oars? What would happen if you allowed the current to take you for a while? You might find that the water carries you to a shore more beautiful than any you could have imagined for yourself. The fear of the unknown is the fear of life itself. For life is nothing but a series of unknown moments strung together like pearls on a string. Every breath you take is a leap into the void. You do not know if the next breath will come, yet you do not worry about it. You trust your body to breathe. You trust your heart to beat. This trust is the foundation of your very existence. Why, then, do you find it so hard to trust the larger movements of your life? Why do you trust the small rhythm of the lungs, but fear the large rhythm of the soul? The anxiety that haunts your nights is a call to return to this fundamental trust. It is a reminder that you are a part of a vast and interconnected web of being, and that the same intelligence that moves the planets and opens the flowers is moving through you. You are never truly alone in the storm, for you are the storm, and you are the stillness at its center. As you lie here, or sit in the deepening quiet, let the thoughts of your responsibilities and your failures drift away like smoke. They are not who you are. They are merely stories you tell yourself in the dark. The reality is much simpler. You are here. You are breathing. You are alive. And that is enough. The understanding you seek will come in its own time, not through the frantic searching of the mind, through the patient waiting of the heart. Like the morning mist that lifts from the valley floor to reveal the hidden peaks, your clarity will return when the conditions are right. For now, let the mist be your friend. Let it soften the sharp edges of your world. Let it remind you that there is beauty in the unseen and grace in the unknown. You are safe. You are held. And you are exactly where you belong. As you stand in this quiet space where the mist and the earth meet, imagine a narrow stone path appearing beneath your feet. The stones are smooth, worn down by the passage of countless seasons and the gentle touch of those who walked here before you. Each step you take is a silent conversation with the ground. There is no hurry to reach the end of this path, for in the world of the spirit, the journey itself is the destination. The air carries the faint, sweet scent of cedar and damp moss, a fragrance that speaks of ancient forests and the enduring patience of nature. You breathe in this coolness, and it feels as though you are breathing in the very essence of peace. Your lungs expand slowly, and with every exhale, a layer of tension dissolves from your shoulders. You are walking toward a small wooden bridge that arches over a still, dark pond. When you reach the center of the bridge, you stop and look down at the water. In the dim light of the fading day, the surface of the pond is like a mirror, reflecting the gray sky and the silhouettes of the surrounding pines. But as you watch, a single leaf detaches itself from a branch and drifts downward. It touches the water with a lightness that is almost impossible to perceive, yet it creates a series of perfect, concentric circles that ripple outward. Your mind is very much like this pond. Throughout the day, the world drops its leaves and stones into your consciousness, creating ripples of thought, worry, and memory. You might feel the urge to reach out and smooth the water with your hands, hoping to return it to its state of stillness. But you know that the more you touch the water, the more turbulent it becomes. The secret of the pond is the secret of the heart. To find clarity, you must simply wait. You must allow the water to be as it is, and in time, the ripples will find their own way back to the shore. There is an old story of a traveler who came upon a mountain stream that had been churned up by a passing herd of deer. The water was thick with mud and silt, and the traveler was very thirsty. He tried to filter the water with his clothes, and he tried to push the mud away with his staff, but the water only grew darker and more clouded. An old monk, sitting beneath a nearby willow tree, watched him for a long time before speaking. The monk told the traveler to sit down and do nothing. He told him to watch the stream without judgment and without desire. The traveler was frustrated, but he was too tired to argue, so he sat. He watched the water flow. He watched the dragonflies hover. Slowly, the heavy silt began to sink to the bottom. The grains of sand settled between the rocks. The water became translucent, then clear, until finally the traveler could see the silver fish darting among the pebbles at the bottom. The water had not changed its nature. It had simply been allowed to return to its natural state of purity. Your thoughts are like that silt. They are not who you are. They are merely temporary visitors passing through the stream of your awareness. When you feel overwhelmed by the clouds of your own mind, remember the traveler and the monk. You do not need to fight your thoughts. You do not need to solve every problem or answer every question before you can rest. The silt will settle when you stop stirring the water. Allow yourself the grace of non-doing. In this moment, there is nothing to achieve, nothing to fix, and nothing to become. You are already whole. You are already enough. The stillness you seek is not something you create, but something you discover when you stop creating noise. Listen to the silence that lives beneath the sound of your breath. It is a vast, welcoming silence that has no beginning and no end. As you stand on the bridge, you feel the weight of your body pressing gently into the wood. This weight is a gift. It is the pull of the earth, reminding you that you are grounded and supported. You are not floating adrift in a chaotic universe. You are anchored to this moment by the steady rhythm of your heart. Feel that rhythm now. It is a slow, deep pulse that echoes the heartbeat of the world itself. With every beat, you sink a little deeper into tranquility. The mist around you is growing thicker now, wrapping you in a soft, white blanket that muffles the world. The distant sounds of the forest fade away, leaving only the sound of your own quiet presence. You are becoming part of the landscape, as still as the trees and as patient as the stone. The evening is deepening into night, and the shadows are lengthening across the valley. This transition from light to dark is not something to fear, but a natural turning of the wheel. Just as the day must give way to the night, your activity must give way to rest. There is a profound wisdom in the darkness. It is the womb of all things, the place where seeds dream before they sprout, and where the soul goes to renew its strength. In the dark, the boundaries of the self begin to soften. You are no longer defined by your name, your work, or your history. You are simply a point of awareness, resting in the vastness of the infinite. Let go of the need to see what lies ahead. Trust that the path will be there when the sun rises. For now, your only task is to descend into the quiet depths of your own being. Your breath is like a gentle tide, washing over the shores of your mind. Each wave brings a sense of release. Each withdrawal takes away a little more of the day's burdens. You are drifting now, moving away from the world of form and into the world of spirit. The bridge, the pond, and the mist are all dissolving into a soft, velvet darkness. This darkness is warm and kind. It is the sleep of the mountain and the sleep of the deep sea. You are safe here. You are loved here. There is no more need for words. There is only the breath, the stillness, and the profound peace of knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. The journey of the day is over. The journey of the night has begun. Let yourself fall into the embrace of the unknown, for the unknown is where your true home lies. Rest now. Rest deeply. All is well. All is still. All is as it should be. The flickering candle of the mind has dimmed, and the room is filled with the soft shadow of grace. You are floating on a river of silence that carries you toward the heart of the infinite. There is no effort in this drifting. Let the weight of your body sink into the earth. Sleep is the bridge. Cross it now. Rest. Peace. Welcome home, child of the stars. You have carried the weight of questions for far too long. Your mind is a tired traveler seeking a map in a land where the paths are written in water. Tonight, we set down the heavy lantern of understanding. We do not need to see the whole mountain to know that the earth supports our feet. Close your eyes and let the sound of my voice be a soft hand on your shoulder. We are moving away from the noise of why and how. We are stepping into the gentle embrace of what is. Here, in this space, there is no need to solve the mystery. There is only the invitation to breathe and to trust the silence that knows your name. Imagine yourself standing at the base of a long stone staircase. The air is cool and carries the scent of damp earth and ancient cedar trees. High above the world of commerce and worry, a thin veil of mist hangs over the mountain. You cannot see the top of the stairs. You cannot see the temple that waits for you. You only see the single step directly in front of your toes. In the world you left behind, this would cause you a sense of unease. You would want to see the destination. You would want to know how many steps remain and how much energy you must conserve. But here, in the garden of the soul, we practice a different kind of movement. We practice the art of the blind step. Take a slow, deep breath and feel the air fill your lungs like a soft golden light. As you exhale, feel your shoulders drop away from your ears. Your feet find the first stone. It is smooth and cold, polished by 1,000 years of rain and the footsteps of those who sought peace before you. This stone does not ask you where you are going, it simply holds you. This is the first lesson of trust. The ground does not require you to understand the laws of gravity before it agrees to support your weight. It simply does. As you begin to climb, the rhythm of your movement becomes a prayer. The mist swirls around your ankles like white silk. It is thick and opaque, hiding the trees and the valley below. Usually we fear the fog because it hides the dangers we imagine. But today, the fog is a blanket. It is a gift from the universe that allows you to stop looking outward and start looking inward. With every step you take, you leave behind a piece of your need to know. You drop the question of why things happened the way they did. You drop the fear of what might happen tomorrow. These thoughts are like heavy stones in your pockets. One by one, you let them fall. They tumble down into the mist, disappearing without a sound. Your load becomes lighter. Your breath becomes deeper. You are no longer a person trying to reach a destination. You are the movement itself. You are the breath. You are the mist. You are the mountain. The staircase winds through a forest of tall bamboo. The stalks are green and supple, swaying in a breeze you cannot feel on your skin, but can hear in the high canopy. They make a sound like a hollow flute, a soft clattering that reminds you of the beauty of being empty. A hollow pipe can sing, but a solid one is silent. To trust life when you do not understand it is to become like the bamboo. You allow the wind of circumstance to blow through you without resistance. You do not try to catch the wind or change its direction. You simply vibrate with the music it creates. You realize that your confusion is not a wall, but a doorway. It is the beginning of true wisdom. When we say, "I do not know," we finally stop projecting our small ideas onto the vastness of existence. We finally become quiet enough to listen to the heartbeat of the world. You reach a small wooden gate. It is weathered by time and covered in a fine layer of silver lichen. There is no lock on this gate. It is held shut only by a simple hemp rope. This is the entrance to the quiet temple within. This is not a place made of brick and mortar. It is a sanctuary of consciousness that has lived inside you since the moment you were born. You reach out and touch the wood. It feels warm, as if it has been basking in a sun you cannot see. As you untie the knot, you feel a corresponding knot in your chest begin to loosen. The tension you have held for years, the tension of trying to control the uncontrollable, begins to dissolve. The gate swings open with a low, melodic creak. Step inside. The courtyard is a masterpiece of simplicity. There are no bright colors to distract the eye. There is only grey stone, white sand, and the deep green of moss. In the center of the courtyard sits a large stone basin filled with water. A bamboo pipe drips a single drop every few seconds. Each drop creates a ripple that travels to the edge of the basin and then vanishes. Watch the ripples. Your life is like this water. Events fall into your days like drops from the pipe. Sometimes they are cold, sometimes they are warm. Sometimes they create small ripples, and sometimes they create large ones. You have spent so much time trying to stop the ripples or trying to smooth the surface of the water with your hands. But notice that the water does not struggle. It accepts the drop, and it accepts the stillness that follows. The water trusts its own nature. It knows that no matter how many ripples cross its surface, the depth remains undisturbed. You walk toward the main hall of the temple. Your footsteps are silent on the soft moss. The air here is thick with the smell of sandalwood and old books. It is the scent of timelessness. You reach the threshold and remove your sandals. The wooden floor is polished to a mirror finish. As you step onto it, you see your own reflection looking back at you. But it is not the face you see in the mirror every morning. It is a face of profound peace. The eyes are clear and the brow is smooth. This is the version of you that knows how to trust. This is the part of you that understands that the universe is not a puzzle to be solved, but a song to be heard. Inside the hall, there are no statues of gods or heroes. There is only a single empty chair facing a large open window. The window looks out over a sea of clouds. You sit down in the chair and let your body sink into its embrace. From this height, the world you knew seems very small and very far away. All the problems that seemed so giant this morning now look like tiny ants crawling across a distant leaf. You realize that your perspective was simply too narrow. You were looking at the brushstrokes instead of the painting. You were focusing on the individual notes instead of the symphony. Here in the quiet temple, you see that everything is connected by an invisible thread of grace. The things you thought were mistakes were actually necessary turns in the path. The moments of darkness were simply the shadows cast by a light you were not yet ready to see. Close your eyes now in this sacred space. Listen to the silence. It is not an empty silence. It is a full silence. It is pregnant with the wisdom of the ages. It tells you that you are safe. It tells you that you are loved. It tells you that you do not need to understand the ocean to float upon its surface. You only need to let go. You only need to trust that the water will hold you. Feel the rhythm of your heart beating in your chest. It has been beating since before you had a name. It beats without your permission. It beats without your understanding. It is the most profound expression of trust in your entire existence. Your heart trusts life to give it the next beat. Can you do the same? Can you trust the next hour and the next day and the next year to unfold exactly as they must. Rest here, in the center of the temple. There is nowhere else to go. There is nothing else to do. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are the stillness at the heart of the storm. You are the peace that passes all understanding. As you rest in this sacred space of the mind, imagine the life of a humble tea master from the ancient days of the floating world. This man was not a warrior. He was not a man of physical strength or political power. His entire life was dedicated to the simple, profound art of serving tea with total presence. One day, through a series of unfortunate events, he found himself challenged to a duel by a high-ranking samurai. The tea master knew nothing of the sword. He knew only the fragrance of the leaves and the gentle heat of the water. He went to a local swordmaster, not to learn how to fight, but to learn how to die with dignity. The swordmaster looked at the tea master and asked him to perform the tea ceremony one last time. The tea master complied. He moved with a grace that was beyond thought. Every gesture was precise. Every breath was synchronized with the pouring of the water. There was no hesitation, no fear, and no ego in his movements. He was simply the tea, the water, and the bowl. When he finished, the swordmaster smiled and told him that he did not need to learn the way of the sword. He told him to face the samurai with the same state of mind he used when serving tea. The next morning, the tea master met the samurai. He wore his robes with quiet confidence. He drew his sword not with the intent to kill, but with the same focused serenity he used to lift a tea whisk. He looked directly into the eyes of his opponent, his mind as clear as a mountain lake. The samurai, seeing this absolute lack of fear and this total presence, began to tremble. He realized he was not facing a man, but a force of nature that had moved beyond the concept of life and death. The samurai bowed low, apologized for his arrogance, and left without a single blow being struck. This is the power of the stillness you are cultivating right now. Your anxieties and your fears are like that samurai. They are loud and demanding. They threaten you with shadows of the future and ghosts of the past. But when you meet them with the simple, focused presence of the tea master, they lose their power. They cannot survive in the light of your undivided attention. You do not need to fight your thoughts. You only need to be fully present with them until they realize they have no home within a mind that is at peace. Listen to the soft resonance of the temple bell in the distance. The sound does not struggle to reach your ears. It simply travels through the cool evening air, vibrating and then fading into the silence from which it emerged. Your thoughts are exactly like that sound. They arise from the silence of your consciousness. They vibrate for a moment, and then they return to the source. You are not the sound. You are the silence that allows the sound to exist. You are the vast, open sky that remains unchanged no matter how many clouds pass through it. Feel the weight of your body pressing down into the earth. The ground beneath you is ancient and steady. It has supported countless generations of seekers and dreamers. It asks nothing of you. It does not judge your progress or your failures. It simply holds you. Let your muscles soften into this support. Release the tension in your jaw, the tightness around your eyes, and the weight in your shoulders. Imagine each muscle is like a piece of silk drifting down to the floor of a quiet room. In the philosophy of the forest, there is a concept known as the way of the water. Water is the softest substance in the world, yet it can wear away the hardest stone. It does not argue with the obstacles in its path. When it encounters a rock, it simply flows around it. It finds the lowest point and settles there in perfect reflection. Tonight, let your mind be like water. Do not try to push away your worries or force your mind to be still. If a thought arises, let it be a rock in the stream. Flow around it. Do not give it the friction of your resistance. The more you resist, the more power you give to the disturbance. When you stop resisting, the disturbance becomes part of the scenery. It becomes just another ripple on the surface of your deep, quiet pool. You are descending now into the deeper layers of your being. The air here is cool and fragrant, with the scent of sandalwood and damp earth. The light is dim, casting long, soft shadows that dance slowly on the walls of your inner temple. Consider the lotus flower. It begins its life in the dark, thick mud at the bottom of a pond. It does not complain about the mud. It does not try to escape its environment. It simply grows. It pushes through the murky water, reaching for the light it cannot yet see. And when it finally reaches the surface, it opens its petals to the sun, pure and unstained by the mud from which it came. You are that lotus. Your challenges and your anxieties are the mud. They are the very nutrients you need to grow into your highest self. Without the mud, there is no lotus. Without the struggle, there is no realization of peace. Accept the mud of your life. Honor it for the strength it has given you. But do not stay beneath the surface. Continue to rise, petal by petal, into the clear air of presence. The night is deepening now. The world outside is slowing down, and so are you. Your breath has become a slow, rhythmic tide. With every exhale, you are letting go of a little more of the world. You are letting go of your name, your roles, and your history. You are becoming a nameless observer of the present moment. There is a profound freedom in this namelessness. You do not have to be anyone. You do not have to achieve anything. You are simply a spark of consciousness resting in the cradle of the universe. The stars above are silent witnesses to your journey. They have burned for billions of years, and they will burn long after we are gone. In the grand scale of the cosmos, your worries are smaller than grains of sand. Let this perspective wash over you like a cool rain. Let it dissolve the edges of your identity until you are one with the darkness and the stars. You are safe. You are held. You are exactly where you need to be. The door to sleep is standing open, inviting you into a realm of total restoration. Walk through it with a light heart. There is nothing to carry. There is only the long, beautiful silence of the night. Sleep now, and let the universe dream through you. The breath is a bridge between the seen and the unseen world. As you cross this bridge, feel the weight of the day falling away like dry leaves in the autumn wind. Your body is a vessel of light, slowly dimming as it prepares for the sacred rest of the soul. The stars above are watching over your quiet form, their ancient light a soft blanket of protection. Every cell in your being is now in harmony with the rhythm of the earth. There is no more doing, only being. The silence is your teacher, and the darkness is your friend. Trust the stillness. Let go of the final thread. Drift into the infinite ocean of eternal peace now. Close your eyes and let the weight of the day sink into the earth beneath you. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine your worries as autumn leaves falling into a slow-moving river. They are being carried away by a current that knows exactly where it is going, even if you do not. In this space, there is no need to figure things out. There is no requirement to solve the mysteries of your life tonight. We often feel that if we cannot understand the path ahead, we are lost. But in the quiet of this moment, I invite you to consider that being lost is simply the first step toward being found. The mind craves certainty, but the soul finds its rest in the unknown. Tonight, we will walk together into the mist of not knowing, finding a peace that does not depend on answers. Let your muscles soften. Let your jaw relax. Let the rhythm of your breath become the only clock you follow. You are safe, you are held, and you are exactly where you need to be. The story begins in a remote mountain monastery, where the clouds often sit so low that the stone walls seem to breathe with the mist. There lived a young monk named Kaito, who possessed a mind like a restless bird. He was diligent and sincere, yet he was plagued by a deep, aching need to understand the purpose behind every hardship he faced. When the winter was too long, he asked why the sun hid its face. When his garden withered despite his care, he demanded to know the lesson in the loss. He believed that if he could only grasp the hidden logic of the universe, his heart would finally find its rest. He spent his nights reading ancient scrolls by the flickering light of a single candle, searching for a formula that would make the chaos of life make sense. But the more he read, the more the silence of the world seemed to mock him. One evening, the wind began to howl through the cedar trees, and a heavy rain began to lash against the paper screens of the meditation hall. Kaito sat before his teacher, an elderly man whose face was a map of wrinkles, each one a testament to 1,000 storms weathered in silence. Kaito bowed low, his voice trembling with frustration. "Master," he said, "I have studied the sutras, and I have sat in stillness for many years. Yet, I am still afraid. I am afraid because I do not understand why things happen as they do. I see the innocent suffer and the beautiful fade, and I cannot find the thread that connects it all. How can I trust a life that feels so random and unkind? If I cannot see the pattern, how can I step forward without fear?" The old master remained silent for a long time, listening to the rain. He did not offer a lecture or a comforting platitude. Instead, he handed Kaito an empty wooden bowl and asked him to go out into the storm and catch the sound of the thunder. Kaito was confused. He thought the master was testing his obedience, or perhaps speaking in a metaphor he was too dull to grasp. He stepped out onto the wooden porch, the cold rain instantly soaking his robes. He held the bowl out into the darkness. The thunder rolled across the valley, a deep and primal roar that shook the very foundation of the temple. But the bowl remained empty, save for a few splashes of cold water. He returned inside, shivering and wet. "Master," he said, "it is impossible. The thunder is a sound, a vibration in the air. It cannot be caught in a bowl. It is too big, too formless, and it belongs to the sky." The master nodded slowly, his eyes reflecting the soft glow of the hearth. "Exactly so," he whispered. "And yet, you try to catch the vastness of existence in the small bowl of your intellect. You believe that if you cannot contain the truth within your understanding, the truth must not be there. But the thunder does not need to be caught to be heard. The rain does not need your permission to fall. You are exhausted, Kaito, not because life is cruel, but because you are trying to hold the ocean in a cup." Kaito sat down, the dampness of his robes forgotten. He looked at the empty bowl in his hands. He realized that his entire life had been a series of attempts to trap the wind. He had spent his energy building walls of logic to keep out the uncertainty, only to find that those walls also kept out the light. The master leaned forward, his voice as soft as a falling petal. "To trust life is not to believe that everything will go your way. It is not to believe that you will always be happy or that you will never feel pain. To trust life is to realize that you are the river, not the person standing on the bank trying to direct the flow. You do not need to understand the destination to move with the current." In that moment, a strange thing happened. The rain did not stop, and the wind did not cease its howling. The questions in Kaito's mind were still there, unanswered and unresolved, but the weight of them seemed to vanish. He looked at the flickering candle and saw not just a source of light, but a dance of energy that was born, lived, and died in every second. He felt the cold air on his skin and realized it was not an enemy to be avoided, but a part of the world touching him. He stopped asking why the storm was happening and simply began to listen to it. heard the rhythm of the drops on the roof, the creaking of the ancient wood, and the steady beat of his own heart. This was the beginning of his awakening. It was not a sudden flash of divine knowledge, but a quiet surrender of the need to know. He realized that tranquility is not the absence of confusion, but the acceptance of it. Just as the mountain does not ask why the clouds cover its peak, Kaito realized he did not need to ask why his life took the turns it did. He saw that his struggle had been a form of vanity, a belief that his mind was the measure of all things. As he let go of the bowl, his hands finally became free to reach out and touch the world as it was. The master watched him, a small smile playing on his lips. "You are beginning to see," he said. "When you stop trying to understand, you start to experience. When you stop demanding a map, you begin to enjoy the walk. The path is not under your feet, Kaito. You are the path. Every breath you take is a step into the unknown, and that is where the magic lives. Trust is not a feeling of certainty. Trust is the courage to walk into the dark, knowing that the dark is just another form of light that you haven't learned to see yet." Kaito felt a profound sense of relief wash over him, more refreshing than the rain. He closed his eyes, and for the first time in his life, he was not waiting for the next moment. He was not looking for a reason. He was simply there. The tension in his shoulders dissolved into the shadows. The tight knot in his chest loosened, allowing his breath to flow deep into his belly. He was no longer a monk trying to solve a puzzle. He was a part of the mountain, a part of the storm, a part of the infinite silence that holds everything together. He understood that life does not need to be understood to be lived beautifully. It only needs to be felt. It only needs to be trusted. And in that trust, he found a peace that the world could neither give nor take away. The silence that followed the storm was not a void. It was a fullness that hummed with the vibration of the earth itself. He sat upon a moss-covered stone, feeling the dampness seep through his robes. Yet he did not shiver. The cold was merely a sensation, a visitor passing through the house of his body. He remembered the words of his teacher, who once told him that the mind is like a clear mirror. When a bird flies past, the mirror reflects the bird. When the bird is gone, the mirror does not go looking for it. It remains clear, empty, and ready for whatever comes next. He realized that for so long he had been trying to catch the birds, trying to hold on to the reflections, forgetting that his true nature was the mirror itself. The air smelled of crushed pine needles and wet stone. It was a scent that felt ancient, as if the mountain were breathing out the secrets of 1,000 years. He closed his eyes, and in the darkness of his eyelids, he saw the same light that had guided him through the thunder. It was not a light from the outside, but a glow that radiated from the very center of his being. This was the light of awareness, the flame that burns without fuel. He let his shoulders drop away from his ears. He let his jaw soften. He felt the weight of his bones sinking into the earth, grounding him, connecting him to the deep, slow pulse of the world. As he sat there, a small stream nearby began to sing. The water had been swollen by the rain, and it tumbled over the rocks with a joyful, unhurried rhythm. He listened to the sound, not as a listener, but as the water itself. He felt the cool rush against the stones. He felt the way the water never argued with an obstacle. If a rock was in the way, the water simply moved around it, or over it, or through the cracks. It did not lose its essence because it had to change its path. It remained water, fluid and free. He understood then that his life was like that stream. The difficulties he had faced, the anxieties that had clouded his heart, were merely rocks in the bed of his existence. They did not stop the flow. They only gave the water a different song to sing. The moon began to emerge from behind the retreating clouds, casting a silver veil over the forest. The light touched the tips of the ferns and turned the puddles into shimmering jewels. He watched this transformation with a sense of wonder that felt like a gentle hand pressing against his heart. There was no need to hurry toward the temple. There was no need to reach a destination. The path was not a means to an end. The path was the end itself. Every step taken in awareness was a homecoming. Every breath drawn in peace was a prayer. He felt the tension in his forehead dissolve completely, like salt in warm water. His thoughts were like distant stars, beautiful to look at but far away, unable to disturb the stillness of his night. He thought of the many years he had spent searching for the truth in books and ancient scrolls. He had looked for it in the chanting of the monks and the rigorous discipline of the monastery. But here, in the damp silence of the mountain, the truth was as simple as the breath leaving his lungs. It was the truth of being. It was the truth that he was enough, exactly as he was. He did not need to be more enlightened, more holy, or more wise. He only needed to be present. The mountain did not try to be a mountain. The rain did not try to be rain. They simply were. And in that simple being, they were perfect. He felt a deep sense of gratitude wash over him, a warmth that started in his chest and spread to the tips of his fingers and toes. This gratitude was not for anything specific. It was a gratitude for the existence of the moment, for the ability to feel the air on his skin and hear the music of the night. He realized that the greatest treasure is not something we acquire, but something we stop hiding from. It is the peace that is always there, beneath the noise of our desires and the shadows of our fears. It is the silence that remains when we stop talking to ourselves. The night grew deeper, and the sounds of the forest became a lullaby. The crickets chirped in a steady, hypnotic pulse. The leaves whispered to one another in the breeze. He felt his eyelids grow heavy, not with the weight of exhaustion, but with the sweetness of surrender. He was ready to let go of the day, to let go of the story of who he was. He was ready to drift into the vast, dark ocean of sleep, where there are no questions and no answers, only the deep, restorative rest of the universe. He adjusted his position slightly, leaning his back against the rough bark of an old cedar tree. The tree felt like a sturdy companion, a silent guardian that had stood through countless storms and sunlit days. He felt the strength of the tree flowing into his spine, a quiet power that did not need to shout. He breathed in the scent of the wood and the earth, and with every exhale, he felt himself becoming lighter. He was floating on the surface of a great, calm lake. The ripples of his life were smoothing out, leaving a surface that was perfectly still and perfectly clear. In this state of profound relaxation, he saw that there was no boundary between himself and the world. The air he breathed was the same air that moved the leaves. The blood that pulsed in his veins was moved by the same force that guided the stars in their courses. He was a wave in the ocean, a leaf on the tree, a spark in the fire. He was everything, and he was nothing. And in that nothingness, there was a freedom that surpassed all understanding. It was the freedom of a bird in flight, the freedom of a cloud drifting across the sky. He felt the last remnants of his ego slipping away, like a garment that had become too small. He was no longer the monk, no longer the seeker, no longer the man who had been afraid of the storm. He was simply the awareness of the night, the witness to the silence. His breath slowed until it was almost imperceptible, a gentle rise and fall that mirrored the rhythm of the earth. He was falling, not down into a pit, but into the soft, welcoming embrace of the infinite. The world around him began to fade into a soft, grey mist. The mountain, the trees, the stream, and the moon all dissolved into a single, unified presence. There was no longer any here or there, no longer any now or then. There was only the eternal present, a timeless space where everything is born and everything returns. He felt a profound sense of safety, a knowledge that he was held by something far greater than himself. He was home. He had always been home. And as he closed his eyes for the final time that night, a single thought drifted through his mind like a falling petal. Everything is as it should be. Everything is at peace. And with that thought, he slipped into a sleep so deep and so pure that it was like returning to the source of all life. The temple walls began to fade into the soft mist of the moonlight. There was no longer a difference between the breath of the wind and the breath within his chest. Every worry had dissolved like salt in a vast and silent ocean. You are now that ocean. You are the stillness that remains when the song has ended. Let the weight of the world drift away like a leaf upon a slow-moving river. There is nothing left to do and nowhere left to go. The universe cradles you in its infinite arms of light. Rest now in this sacred silence. Your journey is complete for today. Sleep deeply. Sleep in perfect harmony. The stars are watching. Peace. Welcome home to the silence within. Take a moment to let the world outside fade away. Perhaps you have been carrying a heavy burden lately. The burden of wanting to know what comes next. The weight of trying to solve a puzzle that has no edges. It is natural to feel lost when the path ahead is shrouded in mist. We often believe that if we cannot see the destination, we are not moving. But the river flows even when the night is dark. In this space, there is no need for answers. There is only the breath and the gentle pulse of your heart. Allow yourself to arrive here exactly as you are, with all your questions and your quiet fears. Let us begin the journey toward the stillness that waits beneath the noise of the mind. The morning air at the temple is thin and sharp, carrying the scent of cedar and the faint, lingering trail of last night's incense. You find yourself standing in a small courtyard where the first light of dawn struggles to pierce through a thick, milky fog. Everything is soft and muted. The stones beneath your feet are cool, smoothed by centuries of wandering steps. In the center of this courtyard stands an ancient wooden pavilion, and inside sits a simple bronze mirror. It is not like the mirrors we know today. It is heavy, dark, and currently covered in a fine layer of grey dust. This mirror is the soul, and the dust is the collection of every doubt you have ever held. When we do not understand why life moves in the directions it does, we feel as though we are looking through this clouded surface. We see shapes, but they are distorted. We see movements, but they frighten us. We try to wipe the mirror with trembling hands, but often we only smudge the surface further. To trust life when it makes no sense is to understand that the mirror itself is perfect. The glass is not broken. The bronze is not cracked. It is merely covered by the residue of our own grasping. We grasp for certainty. We grasp for control. We grasp for a tomorrow that has not yet been born. And in that grasping, we create the very dust that blinds us. Listen to the sound of the wind moving through the pine needles. It does not ask the trees for permission to pass. It does not wonder where it will be an hour from now. It simply moves. You are invited now to pick up a soft cloth of mindfulness. There is no rush. There is no deadline for your clarity. Imagine yourself sitting before this ancient mirror. Feel the texture of the cloth in your hand. It is light, almost weightless. As you make the first slow circle upon the surface, notice how the dust begins to lift. You are not creating a new world. You are simply revealing the one that was always there. Many nights you have stayed awake wondering why certain doors closed and why others never opened. You have asked the stars for a map, but the stars only offered their light. This is the essence of the path. We are not given a map, we are given a lantern that only lights the very next step. To trust is to take that step without needing to see the end of the road. As you continue to clean the mirror, your movements become rhythmic, in and out. The breath and the hand move as one. The fog in the courtyard begins to swirl, dancing with the rhythm of your peace. You realize that the confusion you felt was not a sign that you were lost. It was a sign that you were ready to see more deeply. The dust represents our need for explanations. We want to know why pain visited our house. We want to know why love changed its shape. We want to know why we feel so small in a universe so vast. But the mirror does not answer why. The mirror only shows what is. When the mirror is clean, the reflection is no longer a source of fear. It is a source of truth. You begin to see the outline of your own eyes in the bronze. They are eyes that have seen much, yet they are beginning to look at the world with the innocence of a child again. This is the tranquility we seek. It is not the absence of questions, but the comfort of living without the answers. Think of a mountain stream. When the water is turbulent and muddy, you cannot see the stones at the bottom. You might think the stones are gone or that the riverbed has turned into a void. But as the water slows and the silt settles, the stones appear once more. They were always there, held in the cold embrace of the current. Your life is that stream. The events that confuse you are the silt stirred up by the storm. If you try to reach into the water to grab the silt, you only make it cloudier. If you sit on the bank and wait, the water clears itself. Trusting life is the act of sitting on the bank. It is the patience to let the mud settle so that the truth can rise to the surface. As you polish the mirror, you notice that the light in the courtyard is changing. The sun is higher now, though still hidden behind the veil of mist. The world is becoming brighter, yet the details remain soft. This is how clarity often arrives. It does not strike like lightning, it dawns like the morning. It is a gradual softening of the heart. You feel the tension leaving your shoulders. You feel the tight knot in your chest beginning to loosen. You are realizing that you do not need to understand the wind to feel its cooling touch. You do not need to understand the sun to be warmed by its rays. The act of cleaning is an act of letting go. With every stroke of the cloth, you are saying to the universe that you are ready to see. You are saying that you no longer need your illusions of control. You are surrendering the heavy shield you have carried for so long. The mirror is becoming a pool of light. It reflects the grey sky, the dark wood of the pavilion, and the quiet strength of your own presence. You see that the mirror does not judge what it reflects. It reflects the storm as perfectly as it reflects the calm. It reflects the shadow as clearly as the light. Can you be like the mirror? Can you allow life to pass across your surface without clinging to the images? This is the beginning of trust. It is the realization that you are the mirror, not the dust. You are the space in which life happens, not the events themselves. When you identify with the dust, you are blown about by every breeze. When you identify with the mirror, you remain still, no matter what dances across your vision. The quietness of this realization is like a deep, cool well. It is a place you can return to whenever the world feels loud and fragmented. Take a deep breath now and feel the clarity of the air. The mirror is almost clear, the reflection is almost sharp. You are almost home. To be home is to realize that you never truly left. It is the recognition that the traveler and the destination have always been the same heartbeat. As you stand before this metaphorical mirror of the soul, notice how the heavy garments of your identity begin to slip away. You are not the name you were given, nor the roles you play for the world. You are not the mistakes of yesterday or the anxieties of tomorrow. You are the awareness that observes these things, as vast and as unblemished as the morning sky. Imagine now that you are walking slowly along a narrow stone path that leads into the heart of an ancient cedar forest. The air here is thick with the scent of damp earth and resin, a fragrance that feels like a memory from a time before you were born. Each footfall is cushioned by a carpet of emerald moss, so soft that it feels as though the earth itself is rising up to meet you. There is no urgency in your stride. In this place, time does not move in a straight line. It circles like the hawk above the canopy, effortless and free. As you walk, you come upon a small wooden bridge spanning a stream that sings with the voice of melting snow. Stop here for a moment and lean against the weathered railing. Look down into the water. In a famous Zen teaching, it is said that the moon does not intend to be reflected in the water, and the water has no mind to receive the image of the moon. The reflection happens because both are simply being what they are. Your thoughts are like that reflection. They appear on the surface of your mind, but they do not change the nature of the water. Even if the water is turbulent, the moon remains whole and serene in the sky. You have spent so much of your life trying to steady the water so that the reflection would be perfect. But the secret of the master is to look up at the moon itself. When you focus on the source of your awareness, rather than the objects of your thoughts, a profound stillness settles over your limbs. The stream continues to flow, the water continues to ripple, but you are no longer disturbed by the movement. You are the witness, the silent observer of the dance. Continue your journey across the bridge and find a small clearing where a single stone lantern glows with a soft, amber light. Beside it sits a low wooden bench. Sit down and allow your spine to align with the ancient trees. Feel the strength of the earth beneath you, a solid foundation that has supported every mountain and every ocean for eons. You are a part of this strength. In the silence of this forest, the concept of the self begins to dissolve, like a pinch of salt in a vast ocean. We often fear this dissolution, thinking we will lose something precious. But what is lost is only the cage. What remains is the bird. The anxiety you felt earlier was merely the friction of trying to fit your infinite spirit into a finite box of expectations. Here, there are no expectations. The trees do not ask you to grow faster. The stars do not ask you to shine brighter. You are enough, exactly as you are, in this very breath, in this very heartbeat. Think of a cup that is filled to the brim with dark, cloudy tea. If you want to see the bottom of the cup, you do not need to stir the tea or try to force the clouds to settle. You simply leave the cup alone. You set it on the table and you wait. Slowly, the sediment sinks to the bottom by its own weight, and the water becomes clear. Your mind is the same. The more you try to fix your thoughts, the more you stir the sediment. True meditation is the art of non-doing. It is the courage to sit still and let the gravity of grace pull your worries down until they no longer cloud your vision. As you sit on this bench, feel that settling happening within you. Your shoulders drop away from your ears, your jaw softens. The tiny muscles around your eyes relax, releasing the grip they have held on the world all day. The darkness of the forest is not a frightening darkness. It is a velvet blanket, warm and protective, inviting you to let go of the vigil you have kept for so long. In the distance, the faint sound of a temple bell resonates through the mist. The sound does not start and end abruptly. It emerges from silence and returns to silence. Listen to the tail of the sound as it fades. Where does the sound go when it vanishes? It returns to the source, the same source from which your own life emerged. When you sleep, you are returning to that source. Sleep is not merely a biological necessity, it is a spiritual homecoming. It is the time when the drop of water returns to the ocean to be replenished. You do not need to hold on to your story tonight. You do not need to remember who you are or what you must do tomorrow. The universe will hold those details for you. The stars will keep their positions, and the sun will know when to rise without your help. As the light in the stone lantern begins to dim, feel yourself merging with the shadows. The boundary between your skin and the cool night air is becoming thin and transparent. You are breathing with the forest. When the trees exhale, you inhale. When you exhale, The forest drinks in your breath. There is no separation. You are a note in a grand, silent symphony. The peace you feel now is your natural state. It is not something you have earned or something you have created. It is what remains when you stop struggling. It is the quietness of the mirror after the dancers have left the room. It is the stillness of the mountain after the storm has passed. Now, imagine lying down on a bed of soft leaves within the safety of a small, hidden cave. The walls of the cave are ancient and warm, humming with the deep vibration of the earth. Outside, the world continues its restless spinning, but inside, there is only the rhythmic sound of your own breathing. Each breath is a wave pulling you further away from the shore of consciousness. The water is warm and supportive. You do not need to swim, you only need to float. The darkness is now complete, a kind and gentle void that asks nothing of you. Your thoughts are like distant stars, beautiful but far away, having no power over your peace. You are drifting now. You are sliding into the deep, dark waters of a dreamless sleep, where the soul goes to be mended. The journey is over for today. The mirror is clear. The mountain is still. You are home. You are home. You are home. The resonance of those words lingers in the quiet air like the fading hum of a temple bell. You are home because you have finally stopped searching for a destination outside yourself. The great path has led you back to this very breath, this very moment of absolute stillness. There is no longer a distinction between the sky and your mind, or between the ocean and your spirit. Every muscle in your body has surrendered its burden to the soft earth beneath you. You are like a single leaf resting upon the surface of a mirror-like lake, perfectly supported by the water, perfectly at peace with the gentle current of existence. The world of form and noise is dissolving into a soft, indigo mist. All the questions that once occupied your thoughts have melted away like morning frost under a kind sun. You do not need answers when you possess this profound clarity. The silence is not empty, it is full of a deep and ancient wisdom that speaks without words. It tells you that you are safe, that you are cherished, and that you are whole. As you drift further into this velvet embrace, your breathing becomes as light as a shadow. The boundaries of your physical self are softening, blending into the vast and peaceful universe. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to achieve, and nowhere else to go. You are a drop of water returning to the infinite sea. The darkness is a warm blanket shielding you from the flickering lights of the world. In this sacred space, your spirit is renewed, and your heart finds its natural rhythm. Sleep is the final teacher of the day, showing you how to let go of everything so that you may truly find yourself. Rest now in the cradle of the eternal. The stars are watching over your silence. The moonlight is your companion. Close your eyes and let the great peace carry you away. You are the stillness. You are the dream. You are the night. Welcome to this quiet corner of existence, where the clock ceases its ticking and the mind begins its slow descent into the heart of peace. You have carried the weight of the world for many hours, trying to untangle threads that were never meant to be straight. We often believe that if we could only understand why things happen, we would finally be at rest. But true rest does not come from answers. It comes from the profound realization that you are held by a wisdom far greater than your own thoughts. Tonight, we embrace the unknown as a soft blanket. Let your breath be the bridge between the noise of the day and the silence of the soul. You are here. You are present. You are exactly where you need to be. Imagine for a moment that you are walking through an ancient forest at the hour when the sun has dipped below the horizon, leaving only a soft, violet glow among the trees. The air is cool and smells of damp cedar and silver moss. You have been walking for a long time, carrying a heavy satchel filled with maps, compasses, and journals. These are the tools of your understanding. They represent every time you tried to figure out your future, every time you looked for a reason behind your pain, and every moment you spent worrying about the direction of your life. But here, in the deepening twilight, the maps are unreadable. The compass spins aimlessly because the magnetic north of this forest is not found in space, but in the center of your own quiet heart. There is a clearing ahead, covered in a thick, plush carpet of emerald moss and fallen leaves that have turned to soft velvet over the seasons. You decide, for the first time in a very long while, to stop. You do not stop because you have found the exit. You do not stop because you have solved the mystery of the woods. You stop because your body remembers a truth that your mind has forgotten. The truth is that the earth is always there to catch you. You unshoulder the heavy satchel of your questions and let it fall to the side. It makes a dull thud against the soft ground, and as it leaves your shoulders, a wave of lightness washes over you. Your spine lengthens and your breath slows down, matching the rhythm of the wind moving through the high canopy above. Slowly, you lie down upon the earth. The ground is not hard or cold. It feels like a living, breathing presence that has been waiting for your return. As your back settles into the moss, you feel the tension in your shoulder blades begin to melt. We spend so much of our lives holding ourselves together, tightening our muscles as if we could prevent the world from shifting beneath us. We hold our breath as if we could stop the tide of change. But lying here, you realize that the earth does not need you to hold yourself up. It is already holding you. There is a profound relief in this surrender. You allow your arms to grow heavy, your palms turning upward to the sky, open and empty. You are no longer grasping for a handrail or a hidden meaning. You are simply resting in the lap of the unknown. Consider the seed buried deep within this very soil. The seed does not understand the mechanics of the seasons. It does not have a map of the flower it is destined to become. It exists in total darkness, surrounded by the weight of the earth, undergoing a transformation that feels like an ending. From the perspective of the seed, everything is falling apart. Its shell is cracking, its old identity is dissolving, and it is being pushed by forces it cannot see. Yet, the seed does not struggle. It does not demand to know why the soil is heavy or when the rain will fall. It trusts the intelligence of the life force that flows through it. It allows itself to be undone so that it can be reborn. You are like that seed. The moments in your life that felt like darkness were simply the necessary conditions for your growth. You do not need to understand the darkness to trust the process of the light. As you lie there, feel the boundaries of your body beginning to soften. It is as if the edges of your skin are becoming porous, like the bark of a tree or the surface of a stone. The warmth of your body begins to mingle with the cool, steady energy of the ground beneath you. You feel a sense of dissolving. The heavy bones of your legs, the weight of your hips, the curve of your spine, they all begin to sink deeper into the soft, yielding earth. You are not falling, you are arriving. You are returning to the source from which all things arise. The earth is the great mother, the silent witness to all your journeys. She does not judge your confusion. She does not ask for your plans. She only asks for your weight. Listen to the sound of your breath. It is a slow, rhythmic tide. With every exhale, you release a little more of the need to know. You release the tension in your jaw, letting your teeth part slightly. You release the tiny muscles around your eyes that have been squinting to see into the distance. There is nothing to see right now. There is only the feeling of being held. The earth beneath you is ancient and wise. It has seen countless winters turn to springs. It has felt the footsteps of millions who are just as lost as you feel. And yet, the forest continues to grow. The rivers continue to find the sea. The stars continue to burn in the vast, silent void. There is a harmony in the universe that does not require your comprehension to function perfectly. You feel your heartbeat slowing down, syncing with the deep, low thrum of the planet. It is a steady, reassuring pulse. It tells you that you are safe. It tells you that you are part of a grand tapestry, even if you can only see a single thread at a time. Trusting life is not about having a guarantee that things will turn out the way you want. It is about knowing that whatever happens, you have the capacity to meet it, because you are not separate from the life that is happening. You are the river, you are the mountain, and you are the soft earth that receives the falling leaf. As the darkness of the forest deepens, you feel a profound sense of tranquility. The air around you feels like silk. The thoughts in your mind are like distant clouds passing across a moonlit sky. They do not disturb the stillness of the ground. You are becoming the ground. You are becoming the stillness. The questions that seemed so urgent an hour ago now feel small and far away, like the flickering of a firefly in a distant valley. You realize that the most beautiful things in life are often the ones we understand the least. We do not understand how a heart learns to love, or how a dream takes root in the mind, or how the stars stay suspended in the night. We simply experience them. We trust them. Let your consciousness drift now. Feel your body becoming lighter and lighter, even as it sinks deeper into the moss. You are dissolving into the landscape of peace. There is no longer a you and the earth. There is only the earth breathing through you. There is only life, moving in its mysterious and perfect way. You are a part of this mystery, and it is a kind mystery. It is a mystery that knows your name and understands your weariness. It invites you now to let go of the final remnants of your will. Close your eyes within your mind and feel the velvet darkness wrapping around you, a cocoon of absolute safety. The journey of the day is over. The path has led you here, to this moment of total surrender. Sleep is not a loss of control. It is the ultimate act of trust. It is the moment you hand yourself back to the universe and say, "I trust you to hold me until the morning." And the universe, in its vast and silent compassion, always does. As you drift further into this sanctuary of quiet, imagine yourself standing by the edge of a great, silent lake, at the hour when the world is caught between the last breath of twilight and the first heartbeat of night. The air is cool and smells of damp earth and ancient cedar. There is no wind to stir the surface of the water. It is a perfect mirror, reflecting the vastness of a sky filled with stars that have watched over the earth for eons. In this reflection, the distinction between the sky and the lake vanishes. Up and down lose their meaning. This is the essence of the Zen mind, where the observer and the observed become one. In the ancient traditions, they speak of the moon in the water. The moon does not try to be reflected, and the water does not try to capture the image. It happens naturally, without effort, without desire. Your sleep should be like this. You do not need to seek it or grasp for it. You simply need to be still enough for it to find you. Think of the many stones you have thrown into your own mind today. The stones of tasks left unfinished. The stones of words you wish you could take back. The stones of tomorrow's uncertainties. Each one has created a ripple, a distortion in the clarity of your being. But now, the hand that throws the stones has grown tired. It has let go. The last ripple is reaching the shore, fading away into the reeds. The water is returning to its natural state of perfect, glassy stillness. In this stillness, you begin to understand the teaching of non-doing. In our waking lives, we are taught that to achieve anything, we must exert force. But in the garden of the soul, the most profound changes happen when we do nothing at all. Consider the lotus flower. It does not struggle to grow. It does not worry about the mud from which it emerges. It simply unfolds in its own time, responding to the rhythm of the universe. You are unfolding now. Your body is the lotus, and the bed beneath you is the cool, supporting water. There is a deep wisdom in your bones that knows how to heal, how to restore, and how to rest. You do not need to direct this process. You only need to step out of its way. The path of Zen is often described as a return to your original face, the face you had before your parents were born. This is the face of pure potential, free from the masks of personality and the burdens of history. As you sink deeper into the mattress, you are shedding those masks one by one. You are letting go of the name people call you, the job you perform, the roles you play for others. Beneath all those layers is a soft, glowing center of pure awareness. This awareness does not need to think, it does not need to judge, it only needs to be. It is like a mountain that remains unmoved while the clouds drift past its peak. The clouds are your thoughts. They are white and wispy or dark and heavy, but they are not the mountain. They are temporary visitors. The mountain stays. You are the mountain. Feel the weight of your limbs now, heavy with the gravity of peace. Your breath has become a slow, rhythmic tide, pulling you away from the shores of the waking world. With every exhale, you are traveling deeper into the forest of dreams. In this forest, the trees are tall and silver, and the ground is covered in a soft moss that muffles every sound. There is a small path that leads to a wooden gate. This is the gateless gate of the Zen masters. It is a gate that is always open, yet few find the courage to pass through it because it requires leaving everything behind. But you are ready. You have already let go of the day. You have already let go of the self. As you pass through this gate, you enter a realm of infinite softness. Here, time does not move in a straight line. It circles like the scent of jasmine on a summer breeze. There is no past to regret and no future to fear. There is only this eternal present, this moment of absolute safety. You are like a drop of water returning to the ocean. For a long time, you thought you were a separate entity, a lonely drop traveling through the air. But now you realize you have always been the ocean. The boundary has dissolved, the salt and the spray, the deep currents and the sunlit surface. It is all you. The silence here is not empty. It is a pregnant silence, full of the music of the spheres. It is the sound of the stars turning in their orbits and the earth breathing in its sleep. It is a lullaby sung by the void itself, a song of welcome and belonging. You are being cradled by the same force that guides the planets and opens the petals of the night-blooming flowers. There is nothing left for you to hold on to. The grip of your ego has loosened, and you are falling upward into the stars. This is the ultimate relaxation, the state where the body is a temple of quiet, and the mind is a sky without a single cloud. Rest now in the heart of the mystery. The universe is breathing through you. You are part of the great tapestry of existence, a thread of light woven into the darkness. Everything is exactly as it should be. The journey is complete. The destination is here, in the soft embrace of the night. There is no more need for words. There is only the breath, the stillness, and the deep, dark ocean of sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. Let the darkness be your blanket and the silence be your song. Drift down, down into the velvet depths, where the light of the soul burns steady and bright, guiding you through the long, peaceful hours of the night. Sleep. Just sleep. The river has met the sea. In this vast expanse of quietude, the boundaries of your being begin to soften and dissolve, like a pinch of salt in warm water. You are no longer the one who watches the breath, but the breath itself. You are the moonlight, reflecting on a still lake, where the water and the light are one. There is no effort required to exist in this state of grace. The heavy weight of the day has been lifted, carried away by the gentle currents of the night. Feel the space around you, how it holds you with a kindness that knows no end. Every cell in your body is now a star in a silent galaxy, pulsing with the slow, steady rhythm of the universe. There is no past to haunt you and no future to chase. There is only this eternal present, a sanctuary of absolute peace. As the world outside fades into a distant memory, the inner landscape becomes a garden of soft shadows and fragrant stillness. You are drifting on a boat with no oars, guided by the wisdom of the water. The stars above are ancient friends, watching over your rest with a steady and silent gaze. Let your mind become like the vast night sky, open and empty, yet full of a quiet wonder. Every thought is a falling star, vanishing into the deep blue of your mind, subconscious. You are sinking into the softest clouds, where the air is cool and the heart is light. The cycle of the day is finished, and the harvest of your spirit is gathered. Rest now in the great mystery of existence. You are a part of the whole, a note in a celestial song that never ends. Close your eyes to the world and open your soul to the infinite. Peace is your true nature. Sleep now, beloved child of the cosmos, for you are home. Welcome, seeker of peace. The world outside may be loud with questions that have no answers, but tonight we let those questions drift away like autumn leaves on a dark pond. You are here, safe in the embrace of the present moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the air enter your body like a cool mist, and as you exhale, release the tension held in your shoulders and your mind. Life often feels like a thick fog, where the path ahead is hidden from our eyes. We struggle to see, we worry about the stones we might trip over, and we fear the direction we are moving. But in this space, we practice the art of not knowing. We learn that the heart can find its way even when the mind is lost. Let your body sink into the softness of your bed as we begin our journey into the quiet wisdom of trust. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a vast, ancient forest, just as the sun begins to dip below the horizon. The air is thick with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, a fragrance that speaks of centuries of growth and decay. You are walking along a narrow path, and under your feet, the ground is soft with moss. There is a weight in your chest, a familiar heaviness that comes from trying to solve the puzzle of your life. You have been carrying the why and the how for so long that your spirit feels weary. But as you walk deeper into the shadows of the trees, you hear a sound. It is the sound of water. It is not the roar of a waterfall or the crash of the ocean, but a gentle, rhythmic bubbling. You follow the sound until you find a small stream, its surface silvered by the rising moon. By the side of this stream sits an old man, his robes the color of the earth. He does not look up as you approach, for he is watching the water. He invites you to sit beside him on a flat, cool stone. For a long time, neither of you speaks. There is only the music of the water. The old man points to a place where the stream hits a cluster of jagged rocks. The water splashes and foams, turning white with agitation. It looks like a struggle. It looks like pain. He whispers that this is how we often view our suffering. We see the collision, the brokenness, and the chaos. We feel the spray of the cold water, and we want to stop it. We want the stream to be flat and predictable, but look closer, he says. Look at how the water does not stop. It does not argue with the rock. It does not ask why the rock is there, or how long it will remain. The water simply accepts the shape of the obstacle. It flows over, around, and through the gaps. In that moment of collision, the water is being taught. It is learning the shape of the world. It is gaining speed, gaining oxygen, and finding new paths it never would have known if the way had been perfectly smooth. This is the first lesson of the stream. Our suffering is not a mistake of the universe. It is not a sign that we have lost our way. Rather, it is the movement of life meeting the reality of form. When you do not understand why a certain hardship has entered your life, you are like the water hitting the rock. You may feel shattered for a moment, but you are actually being reshaped. You are being given a new direction. Trust is the act of remaining fluid when the world feels solid and hard. As you sit there, the old man picks up a small branch that has fallen from a willow tree. He drops it into the water. The branch is swept up immediately. It spins in circles, it gets caught for a second against a root, and then it is pulled free by the current. It does not know where the stream ends. It does not know if there are more rocks ahead, or if the water will eventually lead to a quiet lake. The branch simply trusts the flow. It trusts the gravity that pulls it downward and the buoyancy that keeps it afloat. We spend so much of our lives trying to be the navigator, the map maker, and the captain. We exhaust ourselves trying to see around the next bend in the river. But the river already knows the way. The river has been flowing to the sea since the beginning of time, and it has never failed to arrive. The old man turns to you, his eyes reflecting the moonlight. He tells you that your life is this river. The events you do not understand are merely the bends in the bank. When the river turns sharply to the left, the water does not panic. It does not try to keep going straight into the dirt. It yields. It follows the curve because it trusts the path laid out by the earth. Your mind wants to understand the destination, but your soul only needs to understand the movement. Every tear you have shed, every moment of confusion, every season of waiting is a drop of water in this sacred stream. When we stop resisting the unknown, the suffering begins to change. It loses its sharp edges. It becomes a gentle teacher. It tells us that we are stronger than we thought, for we have survived every collision so far. It tells us that we are more flexible than we imagined, for we have adapted to every change. Feel your breath now, matching the rhythm of that silver stream. With every inhale, imagine you are drawing in the cool, clear wisdom of the water. With every exhale, let go of the need to have an answer. You do not need to know what tomorrow brings to be at peace tonight. The stars above the forest do not ask why they shine. They simply burn with the light they were given. The trees do not ask when the spring will come. They stand in the winter chill, trusting the hidden pulse of life beneath the frost. You are part of this same great integrity. You are held by the same laws that move the planets and open the lotus flower. As the old man stands up to leave, he leaves you with one final thought. He says that the most beautiful parts of the river are often the places where the water has had to work the hardest to pass. The deep pools, the carved canyons, the polished stones. These were all created by the persistence of the flow against the resistance of the world. Your character, your depth, and your capacity for love are being carved by the very things you do not understand. Let the mystery be. Let the questions rest. The stream is carrying you home, even now, in the silence of the night. Close your eyes and feel the bed beneath you, as if it were a leaf floating on that gentle current. You are safe. You are guided. You are exactly where you need to be. The water knows the way. The sea is waiting, and the journey itself is the destination. Sleep now, and let the lessons of the day turn into the peace of the night. As you drift further into the embrace of the evening, the stream begins to widen. The rush of the water slows into a gentle hum, and the narrow banks of the river open up into a vast, silent lake, hidden deep within the heart of the mountains. The surface of this water is like a mirror, reflecting the silver light of a moon you cannot see but can feel glowing behind the veil of the clouds. There is a profound stillness here, the kind of quiet that exists before the world was given names. You are no longer just a leaf on the current. You are becoming the water itself. In this space, there is no need to struggle against the direction of your life. There is no need to swim toward a shore that feels too far away. You are held by the depth of this moment, supported by the ancient wisdom that teaches us that to let go is to truly arrive. Consider the old story of the empty boat. Imagine you are crossing a great river in the thick of a morning mist. Suddenly, another boat emerges from the white haze and strikes your own. Your first instinct is to shout, to feel the heat of anger rising in your chest, to demand why the other person was not looking where they were going. But as the mist clears just a fraction, you see that the boat is empty. There is no one to blame. There is no one to shout at. In an instant, your anger vanishes like smoke in the wind. You realize that the collision was simply an event, a movement of the universe without a target. Zen teaches us that if we can make our own hearts like that empty boat, nothing in this world can disturb us. When you let go of the idea that you are a person who must be defended or a person who must always be right, you become empty of ego and full of peace. The world may bump into you, the winds of fortune may blow against your side, but because you are empty of pride and resistance, you simply bob on the surface, undisturbed and free. Your breath is the anchor that keeps this boat steady. Feel the air moving into your lungs, cool and fresh like the mountain mist. Feel it leaving your body, warm and soft, carrying away the last remnants of the day. With every exhale, you are emptying your boat. You are letting go of the heavy stones of worry you have been carrying in your pockets. You are letting go of the maps you thought you needed to navigate the future. In this darkness, maps are useless. Only the heart can see the way. The darkness is not a void to be feared, but a fertile soil where your spirit can rest and renew itself. Just as the lotus flower retreats beneath the water at night to prepare for its bloom at dawn, you are withdrawing your senses from the noise of the world. You are sinking into the cool, dark depths of your own being, where the chatter of the mind cannot follow. Listen to the silence between my words. That silence is the true language of the universe. It is the same silence that lives within the center of a storm, and the same silence that rests at the bottom of the deep blue sea. Your body is becoming part of that silence now. Your feet are heavy and relaxed, sinking into the soft earth of your dreams. Your legs are still, like the roots of an ancient cedar tree that has stood for 1,000 years. Your hands are open and soft, no longer reaching for things, no longer holding on to the past. Your shoulders drop away from your ears, releasing the weight of responsibilities that were never truly yours to carry alone. The muscles in your face soften, and the space between your eyebrows becomes smooth, like the surface of the lake when the wind dies down. There is a beautiful freedom in realizing that you do not have to be anything right now. You do not have to be a worker, a parent, a child, or a friend. You do not even have to be a person with a name. You are simply a presence, a flicker of awareness in the vastness of the night. This is the state of no mind, the place where the Buddha found his peace. It is not an absence of life, but the very essence of it. When the mind is still, the soul can speak in whispers that are louder than any shout. It tells you that you are enough. It tells you that you are loved by the very earth that supports you and the air that sustains you. You are a part of the stars and the moon, and the same energy that moves the tides is moving through your veins. As you sink deeper into this state of tranquility, the boundaries of your body seem to soften. You are like a drop of ink falling into a clear bowl of water, slowly expanding and dissolving until you are one with everything around you. The bed beneath you is no longer a physical object, but a cloud of comfort that carries you through the night sky. The air around you is a warm blanket of grace. You are safe. You are protected by the silence. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere left to go. The journey of the day has ended, and the journey of the spirit has begun. Think of a single candle flame in a room with no wind. It does not flicker, it does not waver, it simply glows with a steady, golden light. Your awareness is that flame. Even as your body falls into the deepest sleep, that inner light remains, quiet and constant. It is the light of your true nature, which is never born and never dies. It is the light of peace. Let that light fill your vision now, turning the darkness into a soft, glowing warmth. The world is at rest. The mountains are sleeping. The forests are quiet. And you, dear traveler, are finally home. The empty boat has reached the center of the lake, and there is nothing but the stars and the stillness. Sleep now. Drift into the infinite. Let the peace of the Zen masters be your pillow, and the wisdom of the ages be your dreams. You are whole. You are at peace. You are one with the silence. Sleep. 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 The silence of the lake is not an absence of sound, but a presence of deep belonging. As your boat rests in the center of the dark water, the boundaries between the wood of the vessel and the ripples of the lake begin to fade. You are no longer a passenger watching the world go by. You have become the water itself. You have become the cool night air that brushes against the surface of the deep. There is a profound freedom in this stillness. Every worry you once carried has dissolved like a grain of salt in the vast ocean of the night. The weight of your name, your history, and your tomorrow has vanished. There is only this breath. There is only this moment of pure existence. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, mirroring the slow pulse of the universe. The stars above are not distant lights, but reflections of the light within your own spirit. They watch over you with a kindness that requires no words. In this sacred space, you are completely safe. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere left to go. The journey has reached its destination in the quiet center of your heart. Let the darkness be a soft blanket that folds around your senses, tucking you into a state of total surrender. The masters teach us that the highest form of wisdom is to simply be. To be like the mountain, to be like the moon, to be like the empty space between the stars. As you drift further into the embrace of sleep, let go of the last threads of thought. Imagine them drifting away like cherry blossoms on a slow-moving stream. They are beautiful, but they are leaving. They leave behind a clarity that is as vast as the sky. Your mind is a clear mirror, reflecting only the peace of the eternal now. The world continues its slow dance, but you are anchored in the stillness. Feel the heaviness of your limbs, the warmth of your breath, and the quiet joy of being alive without effort. The night is your sanctuary. The silence is your teacher. You are held by the same force that moves the tides and guides the birds home. Rest deeply now. Let the rhythm of the universe carry you into the softest dreams. You are the silence. You are the light. You are the peace you have been seeking. The boat is empty. The traveler is gone. Only the peace remains. Your soul is finally resting in the great eternal ocean. Welcome to this space of stillness. Sit or lie down and allow the weight of your day to dissolve into the earth beneath you. We often find ourselves lost in the fog of the unknown, searching for a map where none exists. We crave certainty, yet life offers only the mystery of the present moment. Tonight, we will explore the art of letting go. We will learn to trust the current of existence, even when the destination is hidden from view. There is a profound peace in simply being, without the need to solve, to fix, or to understand. Take a deep, slow breath. Feel the air as a gift from the universe. You are safe. You are held. Let the journey begin. The sun has dipped below the jagged edge of the horizon, leaving behind a sky of bruised purple and soft charcoal. Here, in this high mountain temple, the air is thin and cold, yet it carries a warmth that comes from centuries of silence. You are sitting on a woven mat, the scent of dried straw and ancient cedarwood rising to meet you. Your body feels heavy, not with exhaustion, but with the quiet gravity of presence. Your hands rest softly in your lap, one cradling the other, forming a circle that represents the wholeness of the universe. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to go. The world outside continues its frantic dance, but here the dance has slowed to a single, rhythmic pulse. From across the valley, through the gathering mist, comes the first strike of the great bronze bell. It is not a sharp sound, but a deep, resonant hum that seems to vibrate in the very marrow of your bones. It is the sound of time folding into itself. When the bell is struck, the sound is immense, filling the void of the valley, but as it fades, it leaves behind a silence that is even deeper than before. This is the nature of trust. We hear the strike, we feel the vibration, and then we must trust the silence that follows. We do not see where the sound goes. We do not know where the waves of bronze energy eventually rest. We simply listen. We allow the sound to wash over us, cleansing the mind of its many questions. You might feel a lingering urge to ask why things are the way they are, why the path is steep, why the clouds obscure the stars, why the heart feels heavy at the thought of tomorrow. But notice how the bell does not ask for permission to ring. It simply responds to the strike. The wind does not ask the trees for a place to pass. It simply moves through the branches. You are like the tree, and life is the wind. To trust life when you do not understand it is to stop bracing yourself against the breeze. It is to soften your shoulders and let the air move through you. Feel your breath now. It is the most intimate rhythm of life. You do not consciously direct your heart to beat, nor do you command your lungs to draw in the oxygen. It happens. It is a miracle of trust that occurs every second of your existence. If you can trust your body to breathe while you sleep, can you not trust the universe to carry you through the unknown? The mist is thickening now, swirling around the eaves of the temple. It blurs the lines between the earth and the sky. In this grey softness, shapes lose their definition. The pine trees become shadows, and the stone lanterns become soft glows of amber light. This lack of clarity is not a threat. It is an invitation to rely on your inner sight. When we cannot see the path ahead, we must feel the ground beneath our feet. Each step is a revelation. Each moment is a complete world. Listen again to the distant bell. It rings a second time. This time, the sound feels closer, as if it is ringing inside your own chest. The vibration travels down your spine, loosening the tension in your lower back. It flows into your hips, through your thighs, and down to the tips of your toes. You are becoming as resonant and as hollow as the bell itself. To be hollow is to be receptive. To be empty is to be full of possibility. We often think that understanding is a prerequisite for peace. We believe that if we can just figure out the puzzle, we will finally be able to rest. But true peace is found in the middle of the puzzle, before the pieces have found their places. It is the peace of the gardener who plants a seed in the dark earth. The gardener does not see the roots forming. They do not understand the secret chemistry that turns a hard shell into a green shoot. They simply provide the water and the space, and they trust the life force within the seed. You are that seed. You are currently in the dark, quiet soil of transition. It feels heavy. It feels confusing. But the darkness is not a tomb. It is a womb. It is the place where growth happens in secret. Allow yourself to rest in this darkness. Let the sound of the bell be your anchor. It reminds you that even in the vastness of the mountains, you are not alone. The sound connects you to the monk who strikes the bell, to the forest that echoes it, and to the stars that wait patiently behind the clouds. The floorboards of the temple veranda are cool beneath you, polished by the feet of thousands who have sought the same peace you seek today. They too had questions. They too felt the sting of uncertainty. And yet, the temple stands. The mountains remain. The river at the base of the cliffs continues to flow toward an ocean it has never seen. The river does not struggle against the rocks. It simply finds its way around them. It trusts its own nature. You are currently learning to trust your own nature. You are learning that your value is not tied to your ability to predict the future. You are worthy of rest simply because you exist. As the resonance of the second strike lingers, feel your eyelids grow heavy. The flickering candle in the corner of the room casts long, dancing shadows on the paper walls. These shadows are like your thoughts. They shift and change, appearing large one moment and small the next, but they have no substance. They are merely the play of light and obstruction. You are the light. The circumstances of your life are the objects that cast the shadows. Do not be afraid of the shadows. They are proof that there is a light burning within you. Stay here in this gentle twilight. Let the sound of the bell guide you deeper into the soft cushions of the present. There is no need for answers tonight. There is only the breath, the bell, and the beautiful, unfolding mystery of being alive. In this state of relaxation, you begin to realize that the sound of the bell and the silence that follows are not two different things. They are part of the same movement. Just as the inhale and the exhale are one breath, the knowing and the not knowing are one life. When you stop fighting the unknown, you find that it is actually a very comfortable place to be. It is spacious. It is quiet. It is where all new things begin. The bell rings a third time, very softly now, like a whisper from the edge of a dream. Let that whisper carry you. Let it dissolve the last remnants of your resistance. You are exactly where you need to be. You are doing exactly what you need to do. You are breathing. You are trusting. You are here. Welcome back to this quiet space where the world slows down and the heart begins to listen. As you settle deeper into your rest, imagine you are sitting on a wooden porch overlooking a silent stone garden. The air carries the faint scent of rain and moss. There is no hurry here. There is no destination. You have traveled through the storm of your thoughts, and now you have arrived at the shore of stillness. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Feel the gentle support of the ground beneath you. You are safe. You are held by the earth. In this moment, the only thing that exists is the rhythm of your breath, a soft wave rising and falling in the vast ocean of peace. Now, let us walk together through a memory of an old mountain path. Long ago, there was a woman named Chiono who sought the truth of her own existence. For many years, she served in a monastery, performing the simplest of tasks. Her days were spent carrying water from the deep well at the bottom of the hill to the kitchen at the top. She carried an old bamboo bucket, reinforced with strips of metal. Every night, as she walked, she would look down into the bucket and see the reflection of the full moon dancing on the surface of the water. To her, that reflection was the most beautiful thing in the world. She guarded it carefully, walking slowly so as not to ripple the water, afraid that if the surface broke, she would lose the light of the moon forever. This is how many of us live our lives. We carry our buckets of expectations, our buckets of worries, and our buckets of identities. We try so hard to keep the reflection of our lives perfect and still. We fear the ripples. We fear the shaking of the bucket. We think that the reflection in the water is the only light we have. But listen closely to the sound of the wind in the pines. One evening, as Chiono was walking up the path, the old bamboo bucket finally gave way. The bottom broke out. In a single heartbeat, the water rushed out and soaked into the dry earth. The reflection vanished. The bucket was empty. And in that moment of sudden loss, Chiono looked up. She saw the real moon hanging in the vast, dark sky, more brilliant and steady than any reflection could ever be. She realized that she had been clinging to a shadow while the source of light was always right above her. As you lie here now, imagine you are letting go of your own bucket. You do not need to carry the weight of the water anymore. You do not need to protect the reflection of how you think your life should look. Let the bottom fall out. Let the water return to the earth. Let the heavy thoughts and the constant striving simply drain away. What remains when the bucket is empty is the true moon. What remains is your true nature, which is vast, open, and untroubled by the movements of the world. Feel the space that opens up inside you when you stop trying to hold everything together. It is a wide, dark, and beautiful space, like the night sky. There is a profound relief in being empty. To be empty is to be full of possibility. To be empty is to be light. Notice the way your body feels as it becomes lighter and lighter. Your legs are like heavy logs sinking into the soft forest floor. Your arms are like ribbons of silk resting on a cool stone. The tension in your forehead dissolves like mist under the morning sun. You are becoming part of the landscape. You are the wind. You are the shadows. You are the silence between the heartbeats. In the Zen tradition, we speak of the great rest. It is not just the sleep of the body, but the sleep of the ego. It is the moment when the seeker stops seeking and realizes they have already arrived. You have already arrived. There is nothing left to solve tonight. There are no more mountains to climb. The path has led you right here, to this pillow, to this breath, to this profound stillness. Listen to the distant sound of a bamboo water pipe. Click, clack. The water flows. The wood strikes the stone. It is a rhythm that has existed for centuries, indifferent to the worries of men. Let that rhythm lull you. Let the darkness be a soft blanket that covers your mind. Every breath you take is a bridge between the world of doing and the world of being. You are crossing that bridge now. You are leaving behind the noise and the light of the busy day. You are entering the sanctuary of the inner temple. The incense has burned down to a fine grey ash. The candles have been extinguished. The only light is the soft glow of the stars through the paper screens. You are here. You are whole. You are at peace. Sink deeper now. Let the words become a gentle hum, a vibration that resonates in your chest and calms your spirit. The moon is watching over you. The earth is holding you. You are free to let go. You are free to disappear into the dream. The night is long, and the silence is your friend. There is no need to think about tomorrow. Tomorrow is just another reflection in a bucket that has not yet been filled. Today is over. The work is done. The bucket is broken. The moon is bright. Sleep now. Sleep in the emptiness that is actually fullness. Sleep in the quiet that is actually a song. You are the moon. You are the sky. You are the water returning to the earth. Everything is as it should be. Everything is exactly where it belongs. Rest your mind. Rest your heart. Rest your soul. The journey of the day has ended, and the journey of the night has begun. It is a journey into the deep, dark, and beautiful unknown. Trust it. Love it. Be it. As the cool air brushes against your skin, feel the last remnants of effort dissolving. You are not the one who breathes, you are the breath itself. You are not the one who sleeps, you are the sleep itself. There is no boundary between you and the night. There is no boundary between you and the peace you have found. Let the world turn without you for a while. It is in good hands. Your only task is to be still. Your only task is to rest. The stars are silent witnesses to your tranquility. The universe breathes with you. One slow breath in, one slow breath out, deeper and deeper into the velvet darkness, down into the well of dreams where the water is clear and the moon is always full. Peace is not something you find, it is something you return to. You are returning now. You are home. Sleep, sleep, sleep. The journey of the day has reached its final destination. There is no more road to travel and no more weight to carry. You are like a single leaf resting on the surface of a still lake. The water does not ask the leaf to move, and the leaf does not ask the water to change. They are simply one in the quiet silver light of the moon. Feel the heavy warmth of your limbs as they melt into the earth beneath you. The boundary between your body and the soft air begins to dissolve. You are becoming the silence itself. You are becoming the gentle rhythm of the night wind. Every thought that arises is merely a distant cloud passing across a vast and empty sky. Do not reach for them. Let them drift away until the sky is perfectly clear. In this clarity, there is a profound sense of safety. You are held by the universe in a cradle of infinite love. There is nothing left to do, and nowhere left to go. The temple bells have fallen silent, and the incense has burned down to a single glowing ember. That ember is the light within you, which never goes out. It is the light of pure awareness. Rest your weary mind in this light. Let the darkness be your blanket, and the silence be your song. You are sinking into the deepest layers of peace, where time has no meaning. Every cell in your body is now whispering the same word: peace, peace, peace. You are drifting into sleep. Welcome, weary traveler of the silent hours. You have arrived at the threshold where the day surrenders its heavy questions to the vast velvet mystery of the night. Tonight, we do not seek answers. We do not demand to know the map of our journey or the reason why the winds have shifted so suddenly. We gather here in this quiet sanctuary to learn the most sacred art of the soul, the art of trusting the unseen current. The mind is a restless bird, always seeking a solid branch to land upon, always asking why the sky is grey or why the seasons change before we are ready. But here, in the deepening shadows, we allow the bird to fold its wings. We recognize that life is not a riddle to be solved, but a river to be entered. As you settle into the stillness, let the weight of your worries sink like smooth stones into the soft, dark earth. You are safe. You are held by the gravity of the stars. You are exactly where you need to be, even if the path ahead remains hidden in the mist. Close your eyes now and feel the space around you. Imagine we are sitting together on a high stone balcony overlooking an ancient silver sea. The air is cool and carries the faint, sweet scent of mountain pine and damp earth. Below us, the great water moves in a rhythm that was established long before the first heartbeat of man. This is the cosmic tide, the breathing of the universe itself. We often spend our days trying to build walls against this tide. We try to dam the water, to direct its flow, to understand its depths with our limited vision. We believe that if we can only understand why things happen, we will finally be at peace. But tonight, the Zen master whispers a different truth. Peace does not come from understanding. Peace comes from the moment you stop needing to understand. It comes from the moment you let go of the oars and realize the boat knows the way home. Listen to the sound of your own breath. Do not try to change it. Simply observe it as it rises and falls. This breath is your personal connection to the great tide. With every inhalation, you are receiving the gift of life from the boundless atmosphere. With every exhalation, you are returning yourself to the source. It is a constant, effortless exchange. You do not need to understand how the lungs extract oxygen or how the blood carries it to your heart. You simply trust that it happens. You trust the intelligence of your body. Now, extend that trust outward. Can you trust the intelligence of the night? Can you trust that even in the darkness, the flowers are preparing to bloom, and the roots are reaching deeper into the soil? The darkness is not a void, it is a womb. It is the place where all things are restored and renewed. In the tradition of the forest monks, there is a story of a traveler who was lost in a dense woods during a great storm. He was terrified because he could not see the moon or the stars to guide him. He stumbled over roots and scratched his hands on thorns, crying out for a light to show him the way. Suddenly, a great flash of lightning illuminated the entire forest for a single second. In that brief moment, he saw the path, the trees, and the distant mountains. But then, the darkness returned, deeper than before. The traveler waited for another flash, but it did not come. He realized then that he did not need the light to stay. He only needed to remember what the light had shown him. He had to trust the memory of the path, even when his eyes saw only shadows. This is how we must walk through the seasons of our lives that make no sense. We trust the flashes of clarity we have had in the past, and we move forward through the dark with a quiet, inner knowing. As you lie here, feel the boundaries of your body beginning to soften. Imagine that you are like a drop of ink falling into a vast basin of clear water. At first, you have a shape, a definition, a story. But slowly, the edges begin to blur. You are spreading out, dissolving into the cool, dark liquid. The tension in your shoulders is melting away. The tightness in your jaw is releasing. The thoughts that were spinning like autumn leaves in a whirlwind are beginning to settle on the forest floor. There is a profound relief in admitting that you do not know what tomorrow will bring. There is a hidden strength in saying, "I do not understand, but I am here." This is the state of Mushotoku, the mind of no gain. We are not trying to achieve sleep. We are not trying to win at relaxation. We are simply being present with the tide as it pulls us toward the deep. The cosmic tide does not ask for your permission to move. It does not wait for you to agree with its direction. It simply is. When we resist the tide, we suffer. We thrash against the waves and grow exhausted. But when we turn on our backs and float, the very water that seems so dangerous becomes our support. It carries us, it lifts us, it holds us up toward the stars. Feel that support now. Feel the bed beneath you as the hand of the earth, steady and unwavering. You are being carried by a process that is much larger than your individual will. The stars are moving in their orbits without your help. The tides are turning without your instruction. The earth is spinning in the silent void, and you are a part of that magnificent, wordless dance. Let your breath become slower now, deeper and more rhythmic. Match your breathing to the sound of the distant sea. Inhale and feel the cool energy of the cosmos entering your crown. Exhale and feel all the questions, all the why and how, leaving your body like grey smoke. There is a beautiful emptiness in not knowing. In the Zen tradition, we call this the beginner's mind. It is a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing. When you don't understand life, you are actually closer to its truth. You are no longer filtered through your own expectations or fears. You are seeing life as it is, a wild and beautiful mystery that transcends human logic. As the night grows deeper, the world outside falls away. The sounds of the distant village, the rustle of the wind in the bamboo, the far-off call of a night bird, all these sounds become part of the silence. They do not disturb the stillness, they emphasize it. You are drifting now, moving further away from the shore of the conscious mind. The water is warm and dark. It is the color of the deep ocean at midnight, a rich indigo blue that promises total rest. You are merging with this color. You are merging with the tide. There is no longer a you and a universe. There is only the breathing. There is only the flow. Trust the darkness. Trust the silence. Trust the way your heart beats in the dark, a steady drum echoing the pulse of the earth. You do not need to see the sun to know it will rise. You do not need to understand the path to know you are being led. Every moment of your life has brought you to this place of rest. Every joy and every sorrow has been a wave in this great ocean, and now the ocean is calling you back to its depths for a while. Let go of the last threads of the day. Let go of the names of things. Let go of the need for meaning. There is only the tide. There is only the peace. There is only the deep, dreamless sleep that waits for you in the heart of the mystery. Drift now. Float away. Merge with the eternal rhythm. All is well. All is exactly as it should be. Sleep, sleep, sleep. The breath continues its rhythmic dance, a soft wind blowing through the bamboo groves of your spirit. As you drift further into this sacred quiet, imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast silver lake, hidden deep within the mist-covered mountains. The air here is cool and carries the faint, sweet scent of cedar and wet moss. The world is perfectly still. In the center of this lake, the full moon is reflected with such clarity that it is impossible to tell where the sky ends and the water begins. This is the mirror of the mind, when the storms of thought have finally subsided. Long ago, a young monk lived in a small hut near such a lake. Every night, he would walk to the shore with a heavy wooden bucket, hoping to capture the beauty of the moon so that he might keep its light for himself. He would dip his bucket into the dark water, but as soon as the wood touched the surface, the moon would shatter into 1,000 shivering fragments of light. He would wait for the water to grow still again, his heart heavy with frustration, only to try once more. Night after night he struggled, believing that if he could only be quick enough or gentle enough, he could carry the moon back to his room and find peace. One evening, as he sat weeping by the shore, his old teacher approached him. The master did not offer words of pity, nor did he offer a better way to catch the reflection. Instead, he took the bucket from the young monk's hands and turned it upside down, sitting upon it. He looked at the boy and asked why he sought to imprison a shadow when the source of the light was already shining upon his head. The master pointed upward to the great, luminous orb hanging in the infinite velvet of the night. The monk looked up, and for the first time, he stopped looking at the water. He realized that by trying to grasp the reflection, he had missed the reality. He had been chasing a ghost, while the truth was bathing him in its glow all along. You are like that monk, and the day you have just lived is like the reflection in the water. For hours, you have tried to catch the moments, to fix the problems, to hold on to the joys, and to push away the sorrows. You have dipped your bucket into the stream of time, hoping to find something solid to keep. But now, the master within you is turning the bucket over. There is nothing left to catch. There is nothing left to hold. The reflection is not the truth. The thoughts you have carried are merely ripples on the surface of your vast, deep consciousness. Let the ripples fade. Let the surface of your mind become like a sheet of polished glass, reflecting the infinite without trying to possess it. You are not the bucket. You are not the water. You are not even the monk. You are the stillness that allows the moon to be seen. In this state of pure being, there is no effort. The moon does not try to shine, and the water does not try to reflect. It simply happens. This is the essence of Zen. It is the realization that you are already complete, even in your tiredness, even in your silence. As you sink deeper into the softness of your bed, feel the weight of your body becoming one with the earth. Your limbs are like the roots of an ancient pine tree, sinking into the cool, dark soil, drawing strength from the silence. There is a profound wisdom in the way a tree sleeps. It does not worry about the leaves it lost in the autumn wind. It does not plan for the blossoms of the spring. It simply remains, rooted in the present, trusting the cycle of the seasons. You too can trust this cycle. The night is your season of return. It is the time when the soul retracts its many reaching arms and gathers itself back into the center. Listen to the silence between my words. That silence is the true language of the universe. It is a vast ocean of potential, where every sound is born and every sound eventually dies. Your thoughts are like small birds flying across that vast sky. They come, they go, but they do not leave a trail. They do change the nature of the sky. You are that sky, wide, open, and untouched by the passing clouds of your life. The warmth of your breath is like a gentle hand stroking the brow of a tired child. With every exhale, imagine a soft, golden light expanding from your chest, filling the room, filling the house, and eventually merging with the starlight outside. You are dissolving. The boundaries of your skin are softening. The distinction between you and the air around you is fading away. There is no longer a person trying to sleep. There is only sleep itself, a great dark velvet curtain being drawn across the stage of your mind. In this deep state of relaxation, the stories of your life have no power. Your name, your age, your work, your worries, they are all just costumes you have laid aside for the night. Beneath the costumes, there is only the pure, unconditioned light of awareness. It is a light that never flickers and never fades. It is the same light that shone in the eyes of the masters of old, and it is the same light that guides the stars in their silent journeys. Rest now, traveler. The mountain is quiet. The lake is still. The monk has found his peace, not by catching the moon, but by becoming the moonlight. You are the light. You are the stillness. You are the very peace you have been seeking. The journey of the day is over, and the journey into the heart of the mystery has begun. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, and no one to be. Only this, only here, only now. Drift into the infinite. Let the darkness hold you with the tenderness of a mother. All is quiet. All is empty. All is full. Sleep, sleep, sleep. The mist settles over the valley like a silken blanket of forgetting. Every breath you take is a soft wave returning to the vast and ancient ocean of existence. Feel the weight of your body dissolving into the velvet shadows of the room. There is no longer a boundary between the air you breathe and the space that surrounds you. You are the mountain in its eternal patience. You are the river in its effortless flow. The thoughts that once flickered like restless fireflies have dimmed and vanished into the profound clarity of the night. Your heart beats with the slow and steady rhythm of the earth itself. It is a silent bell that rings only with the sound of peace. This peace is not a destination, but the very ground upon which you rest. Let go of the need to understand. Let go of the need to hold. The universe is breathing through you now. You are safe in the embrace of the great mystery. The stars above are mirrors of the stillness within your own soul. Every cell of your being is bathed in a gentle luminosity that knows no beginning and no end. The world has faded into a soft whisper, and then into a sacred silence. There is a deep and holy rest waiting for you in the heart of the void. It is a place where every burden is lifted and every question is answered by the simple presence of being. Allow yourself to sink deeper into the cushions of time. The darkness is not an absence, but a presence of infinite love. It is the womb of all creation and the home of all souls. You are returning to the source. You are merging with the light that needs no sun. The day is a memory and the night is a sanctuary. Rest now. Let the silence guide you into the dreamless sleep of the enlightened. Peace is here. Peace is you. Peace is all. Close your eyes and let the stars carry you home to the quiet center of everything. Sleep well. Welcome to this sacred space of quietude. Close your eyes and let the weight of the world slide off your shoulders like a heavy cloak falling to the floor. You have spent so much of your journey trying to solve the puzzles of your life. You have looked for patterns in the stars and reasons in the shadows, searching for a map that explains every turn of the road. But tonight, the mind is invited to rest. We are entering a hidden garden of pure presence, where the only requirement is to breathe. You do not need to understand the wind to feel its coolness on your skin. You do not need to know the destination of the river to trust that it flows toward the sea. Tonight, we move from the noise of the seeking mind into the soft, velvet silence of the heart. Let your breath be your anchor as we drift into the mystery of existence. Trust is not a calculation. It is not a conclusion reached through logic. It is a surrender. It is the act of falling into the arms of the infinite and knowing, with every fiber of your being, that you are held by a grace that requires no explanation. Imagine a high mountain peak where the air is thin, cool, and incredibly pure. Below you, a thick blanket of white clouds hides everything. It hides the valley, the winding roads, the jagged rocks, and the rivers that carve through the earth. You stand at the edge of this height, and you cannot see where the path goes. You cannot see the obstacles that may lie ahead, or the flowers that wait in the meadows far below. In this moment, the ego wants to wait for the clouds to part. It demands a clear view before it takes a single step. It wants a guarantee of safety. But life does not always offer clarity. Sometimes, life offers only the mist. There is a profound and ancient wisdom in the mist. It forces us to stop looking with our eyes and start feeling with our spirit. It invites us to move not by sight, but by the resonance of our own inner truth. Think of a single leaf clinging to a high branch in the heart of autumn. The leaf does not know why the green is fading into gold and crimson. It does not understand the chemistry of the changing seasons or the physics of the cold wind that tugs at its stem with increasing persistence. It simply exists in a state of perfect harmony with the change. When the moment comes for the leaf to let go, it does not scream, it does not fight, it does not ask for a detailed report on where the wind will take it. It trusts the air to catch it. It trusts the ground to receive it. It understands, in its silent and humble way, that falling is not an end, but a return to the roots. It is a transition into a different form of being. You are that leaf. You are the mountain. You are the mist itself. For too long, you have carried the exhausting burden of being the sole architect of your own destiny. You have felt that if you stop thinking, if you stop worrying, or if you stop planning for every possible storm, the world will fall apart. But look at the stars in the deep velvet of the night. They do not worry about their orbits. They do not struggle to stay aloft. Look at the great ocean. It does not struggle to create the tides or to maintain the saltiness of its depths. There is a great, silent intelligence that moves through all things, from the spinning of galaxies to the beating of a sparrow's heart. It moves through the very cells of your body, healing your wounds while you sleep, and orchestrating the complex dance of your breath without ever asking for your permission or your help. This intelligence knows the way even when you feel utterly lost. When you say you do not understand your life, you are simply acknowledging that your individual mind is smaller than the vastness of the universe. This is not a failure. It is a beautiful liberation. It means you are finally free from the impossible need to be in control. As you lie here now, feel the bed beneath you. It is firm and supportive. It does not ask you to do anything to earn its support. It simply holds you because that is its nature. Let your body mirror this effortless support. Release the tension in your forehead, smoothing away the lines of thought. Let the tiny muscles around your eyes soften and melt. Let your jaw drop slightly, releasing the words you did not speak today and the frustrations you held onto. Your breath is becoming slower now, rhythmic and deep. It is a gentle wave, rising and falling on a shore of perfect peace. With every exhale, you are releasing a piece of the puzzle you have been trying so hard to solve. Let the pieces scatter. They do not matter now. The darkness of the room is not an empty void to be feared. It is a warm, protective womb. It is the darkness of the rich soil where the seed waits patiently to sprout. It is the darkness of the deep ocean where the water is still, heavy, and silent. In this stillness, there is no past to regret. There is no future to fear. There are no mistakes to fix and no achievements to reach. There is only the pulse of life itself, steady and true. Trusting life when you do not understand it means realizing that you are not a separate fragment fighting against a hostile world. You are the world experiencing itself. You are a localized expression of the infinite. When you stop resisting the unknown ceases to be a threat and becomes a friend. It becomes the sacred space where miracles happen. It becomes the silence that gives birth to every song. Let yourself sink deeper into the mattress. Feel the boundaries of your body beginning to blur and soften. You are melting into the fabric, melting into the air, melting into the infinite stillness that has always been here, waiting for you to return home. There is nothing left to figure out. There is nothing left to hold on to. The universe is breathing you. The universe is dreaming through you. You are safe. You are loved beyond measure. You are exactly where you need to be, even in the midst of the mystery. Drift now into the deep, dark waters of total surrender. Let the silence consume the questions. Let the stillness be your only answer. You are home. You are at peace. You are one with the great unknown. The silence that follows the breaking of the bucket is not an empty void, but a vibrant presence that words cannot touch. In that ancient story of the monk and the moon, the moment the water spilled was the moment he was finally free from the burden of possession. You, too, have been carrying a bucket of reflections. You have been guarding the images of who you think you are, the reflections of your successes and the distorted shadows of your failures. You have been walking through the forest of your life with your shoulders hunched and your heart guarded, terrified that the water might spill and the light might vanish. But listen to the wisdom of the falling water, recommending of your bucket drop out. Let the expectations you hold for yourself dissolve into the dark soil of the present moment. When the reflection is gone, the source remains. You are not the reflection in the water. You are the vast, open sky that allows the moon to hang in its center. You are the stillness that permits the light to exist. As you lie here now, feel the weight of your body pressing into the earth, just as the spilled water merged with the ground. There is no longer a need to hold yourself together. There is no longer a need to maintain the shape of your container. The forest around you is breathing. Can you hear the ancient cedars whispering to the wind? They do not strive to grow. They do not compare their height to the mountains. They simply stand in the grace of their own existence. They draw nourishment from the unseen depths, and they offer their leaves to the sky without hesitation. You are invited to join this natural rhythm. Your breath is a bridge between the visible world and the invisible spirit. With every inhalation, you take in the cool, silver mist of the moonlight. With every exhalation, you release the last remnants of the day. The tensions in your jaw, the tightness in your chest, the restlessness in your feet. All of it is being carried away by a gentle, subterranean stream. You are becoming as light as a fallen leaf, drifting on the surface of a pond. The leaf does not ask the water where it is going. It does not struggle against the current. It trusts the flow because it is the flow. You are the leaf, you are the water, and you are the journey itself. Think of the great masters who sat in the high caves of the Himalayas. They did not seek to change the world. They sought to understand the nature of the mind. They discovered that the mind is like a turbulent ocean. On the surface, there are waves of anxiety, whitecaps of desire, and storms of confusion. But if you dive deep enough, past the reach of the wind and the light, there is a profound and eternal stillness. That stillness is your true home. It is a place where no storm can reach and no sound can disturb. You are descending into that depth now. The surface noise of your life is fading. The voices of the world, the demands of time, and the weight of your name are all becoming distant echoes. They belong to a world that no longer requires your participation. In this sacred space, you are nameless. You are formless. You are the quiet pulse of the universe. Consider the mountain that does not ask for the sun to rise. It does not beg the clouds for rain. It simply sits. Whether it is bathed in the golden warmth of noon or draped in the cold velvet of midnight, the mountain remains unmoved. It is a monument to the power of being. You are that mountain. Your thoughts are merely clouds passing across your peak. Some are dark and heavy with rain. Others are white and wispy like silk. But they are not you. They do not change the granite of your soul. They do not alter the foundation of your peace. Let the clouds pass. Do not reach out to catch them. Do not try to blow them away. Simply observe them with the eyes of a sage and watch as they dissolve into the infinite blue of your consciousness. The night is a soft blanket woven from the threads of eternity. It is here to remind you that darkness is not the absence of light, but the womb of all creation. In the dark, the seeds prepare to sprout. In the dark, the stars reveal their ancient secrets. In the dark, your soul finds the space to expand beyond the limits of your skin. You are expanding now. You are filling the room. You are flowing out into the garden, over the rooftops, and into the high branches of the trees. You are merging with the shadows of the valley and the mist of the distant hills. There is no boundary between you and the night. You are the fragrance of the night-blooming jasmine. You are the soft hoot of the owl in the hollow tree. You are the slow, rhythmic turning of the earth as it leans into the embrace of the stars. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, remember the lesson of the river meeting the sea. The river has traveled a long way. It has carved through stone, tumbled over waterfalls, and wound through crowded cities. It has been proud of its strength and weary of its path. But as it approaches the ocean, it begins to slow down. It feels the salt in the air. It senses a vastness it cannot comprehend. The river does not fear its end, for it realizes that becoming the ocean is not a death, but a homecoming. You are the river, and the great sleep is your ocean. All the paths you have walked today, all the words you have spoken, and all the feelings you have felt are now merging into the vast, salty deep of the universal mind. There is no more effort. There is no more direction. There is only the magnificent, slow dissolution of the self into the all. Rest your head on the pillow of the present moment. This moment is perfect because it is the only one that exists. The past is a dream that has already been dreamt. The future is a ghost that has not yet been born. Here, in the cradle of the night, there is only the rise and fall of your chest. There is only the cool air in your nostrils and the warmth of your limbs. You are a child of the cosmos, being rocked to sleep by the hands of gravity and grace. The universe is whispering a lullaby that has no beginning and no end. It is the sound of the void singing to itself. It is the sound of your own heart beating in unison with the stars. Close your eyes and let the internal landscape become a garden of silver light. In this garden, there is a stone bench near a pool of clear water. Sit there for a moment in your mind. See the ripples fade until the surface is a perfect mirror. Look into the water and see not your face, but the entire galaxy. You are the stars. You are the space between them. You are the silence that holds it all together. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to seek. You have arrived. You are the moon, the bucket, the water, and the broken wood. You are the monk and the realization. You are the sleep and the dreamer. Sink now. Sink deeper than the roots of the trees. Sink into the soft, warm darkness of total peace. The great unknown is not a place of fear, but a sanctuary of infinite love. Sleep now. Sleep in the arms of the mystery. Sleep, sleep, sleep. The breath is now a soft tide returning to the vast ocean of the night. You are no longer watching the breath. You have become the breath itself. There is no distance between the stars above and the stillness within your chest. Every cell of your body is heavy and light at once, like a single petal resting upon the surface of a mountain lake. The world of noise and effort has faded into a distant memory that no longer belongs to you. In this sacred space of the 10,000 things returning to one, you find the ultimate rest. There is no tomorrow to plan and no yesterday to regret. There is only this singular, infinite moment of absolute safety. You are held by the universe with the same tenderness a mother holds a sleeping child. The darkness is not empty. It is full of the potential of 1,000 dawns, yet it asks nothing of you now. Let the boundaries of your physical form dissolve into the velvet shadows of the room. You are the silence between the heartbeats. You are the peace that passes all understanding. As you drift further into the embrace of the eternal, you realize that you were never separate from the source. The journey is over, and the home you sought was always here, in the quiet center of your being. The weight of your limbs is a gift of the earth, and the lightness of your spirit is the song of the wind. Close your eyes to the world and open your heart to the void that is everything. Rest in the garden of the unmanifest, where the flowers bloom without effort and the rivers flow without a destination. You are whole. You are complete. You are free. Rest now in the golden light of pure awareness. Let everything go. Just be.